Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever Enduro of the season at Bez Racing Team. My name is Reagan, and Steven, who I forgot to count in, is now unmuted. And I don't know what Steven was about to say, but he was definitely about to say something. Steven, how are you doing today?
I am great. I was just going to say there's a couple of names I recognize in this entry list, but it's a lot of new faces, which is maybe a tiny bit scary, but also very exciting.
It really is. And one face that many people, oh my goodness, what am I doing to my Twitch stream? Everything is fine. Wow, don't side by side that, please. One thing, one name people might not be expecting to see here is... Who is that? Who is this guy here? Is that Stephen Wallace?
Are you showing me?
Is that the same Stephen Wallace that is currently commentating on this lovely stream here today? Stephen, I think this might be the very same.
No, just by pure coincidence, there is another Stephen Wallace on the race right now. I heard he's not a. I heard he's not a good driver at all, so if we see him in the wall, definitely talk down about him, because it's not me.
I don't know, Steven. For the first time ever in history, no one's ever done this before, I'm certain. Steven and I will be both commentating and driving in this race today. It is a world first. We have the Guinness Book of World Records. Well, we emailed them. They didn't get back to us, but it's still very, very wonderful time to be here. I apologize for the black grass patches you'll see. Our green screen effect, which allows us to have all of our extra stuff. For some reason, it coincides exactly with the shade of grass used in a couple patches on Spa and no other track. So that's just gonna be a thing. I apologize. We will all deal with it. We'll see what happens when Steven's driving, or when I'm driving, because Steven will, of course, be commentating and streaming at that point, but we've got like 28 minutes of qualifying left before that even matters. Steven, how are you feeling today?
Well, I have a very aggressive Aston Martin right behind me. Oh, I have some space now. They pushed Jorge off the road, I think. So that was a little interesting to see in the rear view, but feeling good. We have half an hour of quali, half an hour to set a half-decent lap. Hopefully we can put some respect on the Bez Racing Team name and show these outsiders how it's done, but there's also quite a few fast drivers that have joined us for today's race, so we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we've got some very fast drivers qualifying. We were seeing 2:17s as Jorge gets a little squirrely there through Eau Rouge, but manages to keep it together. Lots of new names. I mean, we had some drivers in the 2:17s, very, very fast times. Steven's been doing 2:14s, 2:15s in practice, but he gets nerves.
Yep.
So we'll see. He usually loses about 3 seconds when it actually means something. We'll just run down the list here. People, I don't think we've got anyone setting a time just yet. I wonder if I can find...
No, the blue car that's ahead of me, Popstel, should be the first time that we'll see on the board, except he invalidated because he's showing blue on my map. So it'll be a couple minutes, I think, before we see a time on the board.
And Steven, I have a very important question for you. What number are we?
235, our old Can-Am racing number.
Beautiful. Got the lovely Jordan McLaren Evo, a car I've driven many times, and by many times I mean for about 15 laps this morning. I am not well prepared for this race. Steven seems more prepared, but certainly not well prepared. And all of our other drivers, well, we'll just have to see what they can do themselves. Artis Miller's here. Lots of names to be pronounced for the first time. Lots of names that we are certainly going to be botching. We're going to try our best. Artis Miller's here in P3 at the moment. Of course, those positions are meaningless for now, but eventually we will see some times popping up. That is the thing about Spa. It is a very long track, long out laps, as we finally get our first drivers in some quick laps to start it off. 2:18.3 here for Jorge. Got a little squirrely on Eau Rouge. Does not seem to matter. And you can already see he's up a couple tenths. We've got 3 drivers immediately into the 2:18s with Silvio, that is an L. Silvio Slama and Alessandro Landolfi. I have a confession to make, everyone. I got a little carried away last night. I did not go to sleep until 4:30. I woke up at 9 to get this stream set up, so I am not fully here. And I am literally not fully here because I left my glasses in my friend's backpack.
Oh.
So I only have -1, so I am fine. But I am underslept, I am overtired, everything is slightly blurry, and I am ready to go. I hear an ope from Steven. Steven! Oh, yep. Perfect. We can do the first replay of the day here. Where's my replay? Steven goes right through Puhan, the classic place. Gets a little squirrely, can't catch it, into the wall, into the garage. And we will probably expect to be seeing much of that throughout the day. Catches Salama.
Yeah, that was not good. I didn't know where Silvio was going. It ended up being into me.
It do be like that sometimes. That is what I have heard. More drivers are setting times here. As well, if anyone in the stream wants to let me know about volume. Oh my god, I have had ACC muted the entire time. This will probably help if you want to let me know about volumes. Hopefully everyone can hear Steven and myself in the game. And if not, we'll get all that sorted out. But here, 23 minutes. We've got a large grid. 25 teams at the moment of 1 to 2 drivers. And as well, I want to give a shout out to, I believe it's Toga Gaming. Let me just confirm I've got that right. I'll say this over name right here. Toga Motorsport. Toga Motorsport very graciously helped us out when we were having some server issues, and they are lending us a server to run this game. So thank you very much to Toga Motorsport. You can see the twitch.tv link up at the top of the screen, twitch.tv/Toga Motorsport. For our 10 viewers here to hear this, hopefully we can boost their numbers a little bit. So thank you very much to them.
Reagan, I do just have to correct you on one thing.
Oh, do you?
You said they're hosting a server for this game. It's not a game. It's a sim.
It's a sim. I'm so sorry. Oh, I can't believe I would say something so audacious. Egregious. Yes, it's because I'm underslept. I promise it won't happen again. Sim racing is very serious. We are all not just sitting in our sweaty little rooms trying to drive as fast as we can. Hopefully loving every second of it. I sure do. That's the most important thing here. Big cash prizes on the line. $100,000 for whichever driver can get into the 212s without cheating today. There's a bounty for a 158, I should say, just in case. I don't ever want that number to actually be found. And who knows, maybe with the next update, 212 are going to happen accidentally. So I'm just going to save myself the headache. But yeah, lots of green here. Let me actually talk about the race rather than just babbling like an idiot. We've got lots of drivers showing green up and down the pits. We've got 16 drivers already setting their times, 21 minutes left in qualifying, so lots of time for our remaining drivers to set it. We do not have classes this time, so we have really, for Steven and I, no real reference point as to who we should be expecting to be fast or slow. What we do have is, where did they go? We do have our lovely friends Jorge Esteban up in P2 with a fabulous 2:17.5. And the next name that I recognize is Laguerre Simon in P11 here with a 2:20.4, a little bit more in line with my pace. Steven and I will be very off in terms of pace. He is a very fast driver, and I am not. So yeah, lots of new faces, lots of people here to show their stuff on this nice 3-hour endurance race. And Steven, how are you finding the track feeling at the moment?
Give me 1 second, I'll tell you.
Of course.
I'm just trying to navigate Stavelot. It feels okay. I wish the track conditions were up at optimum. That just helps a little bit, of course, with the grip, but also just the confidence, knowing that the track has the grip that you want. We're in fast conditions right now. It's a little bit hot on this day at Spa-Francorchamps, but it's just about getting in the rhythm, trying to get out of the race fuel mentality. And this will be a 18.4. Feel decent about that.
18.4, fantastic time for our Stephen Wallace, the effervescent Stephen Wallace, up into P6 to 18.4. Lots of time to improve. And yeah, we are seeing, Bezzi, Alessandro Bezzi is my guess, actually, knowing the few people with Italian last names that I do. I'm guessing that's more of a Bezzi. And I think it is required to do the little finger wave too, so that is Alessandro Bezzi. Up half a second on their time, going into the 2:19s if they can keep it together in this beautiful Lexus. The Lexus, and this is another thing that I feel so disconnected from the ACC driving experience at the moment. I have gone over to the dark side and done a lot of iRacing recently. And the Lexus, I think it was Darren Chan, longtime member of Bez Racing Team, saying that it was pretty good around Spa again. Steven, have you heard anything about that?
Damn, sorry. I am validated.
Steven, we of course don't have a bleep for expletives coming out of Steven's mouth as he drives, so...
damn's a pretty PG-13 expletive, if I have to say so myself.
I think they're going to cut our ad revenue for that one.
What ad revenue?
Oops.
We don't have enough
Hey, we've
time.
got 11 viewers here. We've got an endurance race. We're going to get there, I swear.
But no, I have not heard anything about the Lexus. As you were saying, I have also crossed over into the dark side. iRacing gets the majority of my time these days. You were saying earlier it's been about a year since you were on ACC. It's been about 9 months for me. So, yeah, I am not familiar with the meta right now. I know the McLaren and the Mustang are fast around here based off of the Apex Online Racing leaderboards. But, yeah, the Lexus could be fast. It could be slow. I have no idea.
That is insightful. I feel exactly the same. Wow, I have a friend who actually wants to watch our stream. That's a first. Look at that. I've got a link to send. Steven, see, we're getting closer and closer to ad revenue as the days go on. Is I apologize to all of our viewers. I feel like I do this a lot, but especially given just how tired I am, and Steven having to be driving, which means I'm going to be picking up the slack in the first half, I am going to be incoherent. Maybe we'll talk about the race. That would be nice. It certainly would be nice. But I would not expect more than mild incoherent rambling. Which, people keep listening for some reason. So. Ooh! But Artis is no longer driving that Mercedes. Wow, that was a bop. Let's get a replay of that. Our first good real smack that I've seen into Eau Rouge. And let's watch Artis Miller's coming around here in P11 with a 2:18.9. Really good pace from the field today. We've got Landolfi at a 2:17 flat. And we'll see here, Miller's coming through Eau Rouge. Oh, gets bouncy on the first curve, gets bouncy on the second curve trying to hold it. That is not how you want to take Eau Rouge. That is a tough one. It is, once you get that bounce on that turn in, you go a little bit too far over to the left, too close to the sun, and you will be shot out into the ether as they were there.
Bit a brief yellow flag at Campos.
Oh.
I assume a driver spun out on entry, but weird place to lose the car.
That is a weird place. Spa is... it's the classic endurance track of ACC. Of course, we do have the Nürburgring recently added in, but Spa has been an iconic endurance track for decades in real life, for decades, maybe not, okay, definitely not decades in ACC. For 5 years? When did ACC come out? 5 years in ACC. It is long, it is tricky, it is well known, and it presents many, many challenges for all of our drivers. Lots of elevation changes, uphill, downhill braking. A very, very difficult turn one, and Eau Rouge, having to do Eau Rouge for 3 hours straight on its own is an incredible challenge that I am confident not all of our drivers are going to be making it through unscathed. In fact, I'm quite confident we are not going to see all of our drivers make it through unscathed. I would like to myself. That's really my only goal for this race. But of course, we do have these drivers at the front who maybe want just that little bit more. Alessandro coming through a very fast Sector 2, minute .207 is their Sector 2 time, and a 2:17.027 is their pace. Pashov here, it looks like we have got a driver swap on the team with Jorge Esteban. Pashov doing a 2:17.5, or I should say, I believe it was Esteban doing his 2:17.5, and now Pashov coming in seeing if they can improve. I know Pashov is a regular Porsche driver. I believe Esteban was driving the Porsche this season as well, so two drivers.
I believe so.
Yeah, should be very comfortable in this car. As we see, I believe I believe Komanok might have just... No, they have definitely not set a new time. It's funny, I feel like it's been so long that we've had this many cars, it's tough to keep track of what's all happening in terms of position swaps. but I believe Pashov has been P3 for a while yet. Kamenak in P2, Landolfi in P1, and of course, Steven in P8, which is what we're all really here for.
Top third, I'll take it. 12 minutes to improve. We'll see what happens.
12 minutes to improve. That is not bad at all. Lots of time, lots of fuel, lots of ways to make it into those 218s or those 217s. Steven and I have a personal best. I believe this is Steven's personal best in 24-hour races here of a P7. Very, very fun track to be doing endurance races on. Just unforgiving. Grass on either side. Very little room for error in some of these turns. As we see Landolfi here thinking about trying to make their way through Eau Rouge as well. Steven, we're cutting to Steven going through Eau Rouge. And that looked not bad at all. You have just that little bit of give on the outside left that allows you to kind of cut the track. It's very slight. If you do it wrong, you will bounce. You will maybe have to do some drive-through penalties. Certainly going to be seeing lots of drive-through penalties today. This is a track notorious for it. And here we'll just keep with Steven for a little bit here as he comes through. I never remember the name of that turn, but he's coming up to No Name. Hard to forget that one. Hitting the curbs, nice and solid. Coming into Puhan, along with Eau Rouge, I would say the toughest turn on the track. And Steven does it excellently. Carries lots of speed, 2/10 up before coming into campus. Gets onto that late apex. That's good stuff. Oh yeah, apex to apex, dust to dust. This is a good lap here. 3/10 up. He can hear everything I'm saying, which is a little odd. He's not responding, which is very fair. Really good through Stavelot, just right on the edge of the track limits there. 3/10 up with only a couple turns left, but they are crucial. And let's see how he does. He comes here. Ooh, a little bit wide.
Ooh.
Oh, keeps it valid, but into bus stop. That's looking neat and tidy. Hits the first apex, hits the second apex, and this will be a solid little gain here for Steven, 218.267. Other drivers looking to gain, we've got here Kamenak as a 10th up, looking to take second place back from Cheshire, who nabbed it from him. And here we have Betsy in 14th with a little bit of a gain. Let me change this autopilot. I've got too much focus fast on. Let's get some focus slow here. This is qualifying. We don't need focus fast. Cray briefly up 4 seconds. That went away quite quickly, but still, we could call it impressive. And here we actually see Pashov. Pashov 7/10 up?
No way.
What is happening? That's got to be a server issue, right?
Or maybe that's up on his own personal time, not necessarily on Jorge.
Oh, I wonder. You're right. That's got to be it. Because, yeah, he's a second up. He is flashing purple. But I can't imagine he's going to be doing a 2:16.5. I hope he... No, there's no way. It was just through Eau Rouge. This can't be right. I'm very curious now what Jorge is going to do. Going into Puhan. See how this looks. Looks quite good right on the limit. Still 1.1 seconds up on his personal best. So we don't know exactly what that might come out to. There's no way he's going to be doing a 2:16.5. I'm quite curious here whether this is just like a delta error or if he really is going this fast. I mean, everything looks neat and tidy. Maybe he's just been sandbagging the last little while. We do have Cray 0.7 seconds up at P11. Another one to keep an eye on as we finish up the lap with Jorge. 1.4 seconds. What does this mean?
You ask, what does it mean?
What does this mean, Steven?
The numbers, what do they mean?
I'm being serious. I don't know what these numbers mean. Okay, Jorge. Is Jorge just going to set the most ridiculous time I've ever seen? He's about to cross the line. That is a... I said you shouldn't swear. What a tease. What a tease this game is. He doesn't even improve. Wow. Doesn't even improve. We've got someone in the Discord looking for the stream. Here you go, my friend. Drive fast, die young. I think these are words to live by as we all sit in our offices and living rooms, driving fake cars very quickly. Steven, Kurt says that you need to drive faster.
I'm trying.
Well, could you try better? Jesus.
Kurt, where are you? You come drive faster.
Where is Kurt? Is Kurt driving in this? I don't think Kurt's in this, actually. Kurt, what are you doing? We've got 5 minutes left. Oh, hi, Allison. I just realized who that was. That's fun. With only 5 minutes left in qualifying, we've got lots of drivers showing green, but again, I'm pretty sure at least some of these might just be the game not quite understanding what a personal best is for driver swaps. That being said, what is this? Coquenel. Francois Coquenel? Based on the Francois, I'm thinking Coquenel maybe. But I've probably got it wrong no matter what I try. Up 0.9, up a second on his 218.9. Whether this is real, maybe a driver swap into a faster driver, or whether this is simply the game being mean to us, I guess time will tell.
Oh, we have an improvement.
Oh, Steven.
218 flat. 58? Are you joking?
218.082 for Steven. Can't quite get into the 217s and is a disappointment to both the team and his family, actually.
To the entire population of Earth.
They were waiting for that 217, and you did not do it. And that's just kind of pathetic.
Yeah, Kurt, I'm sorry. Allison, I'm sorry. I wish you had a better driver you could watch. To all of our other, 8 viewers, I'm so sorry.
We have 13 viewers.
13?
We got 13. We're in the big
Lucky
leagues
13.
now. Yeah. Apparently you stink, Steven.
I mean, I put on deodorant this morning.
That was from... Oh, the Discord ID is Steven's mom.
What?
Yeah, Steven's mom.
You mean the Twitch ID?
Or yeah, the Twitch ID.
Wow, that is brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did to deserve that.
Oh,
I
Steven's
guess driving slow,
dad is in the chat, just saying, "Don't come to family dinner on Saturday."
Never mind.
Still seeing one driver, Landolfi, has been comfortably in the lead on pole with 2:17.027. We've seen a couple drivers supplant Esteban and Pashov here. They were in P3, have moved down to P6 as times have gotten more and more competitive. Only
They're
about a half
P6
second.
with a 17.5.
With a 17.5, yep.
Oh my
We
god.
actually have, this is quite interesting, Komanoke is in P4 with a 217.440. Meanwhile, Stefano Casella is in 5th place with a 217.440. So identical times on the board between P4 and 5. I believe this game does base it on which team finished the lap first is the team that goes on top. So that's got to hurt just that little bit for Casella. I mean, a fantastic time we're seeing there, but there is obviously more time to be had. We've got 3 drivers here: Gwenaël Garoul, Roger Strable, and Nathaniel here have not set times. They are deciding to start at the back, but 23 drivers with times set. As we've got just a minute 23 left in qualifying. Anyone in the pits at this moment is going to be done. Lots of green we are showing here on our last couple laps. Landolfi's looking like they might improve. They're up 2/10 on an already stellar time. But we do have Dante also up a couple tenths here, 3/10. Don't switch over from Dante. Dante's about to set a lap time. How could you do this to me? Dante may be in it for a 2:17.042. That puts them into 2nd place, just slightly off of pole position. Wow, what a lap there. And Landolfi is able to hold on just by a hair, though they are improving on their own time. I believe this is the only Ford of the session here, is Komanoke in P6. Heard good things about the Ford around here, but have not had a chance to try them out. Why don't we just come over here and look at the car manufacturers for a second. We've got Landolfi in the Beamer at the top. 3 McLarens from 2, 3, and 4, followed by our Ford, the newest car in the game, in P5, a Porsche in P6, an Aston Martin in P7. We've got a Ferrari in P9, a Mercedes in P11, a Lexus in P12. We are really running the gamut here with car manufacturers. Lots of different drivers on lots of different cars. And that's always, I find, one of the best parts of endurance racing is seeing the differences in how these cars drive, as we've got Steven here coming up for an improvement up into 7th place to finish things off. And sub 2:18. Your family does say you're back invited for Sunday dinner.
I was going to say, are they proud of me now?
Yes.
Damn,
yes, they're very proud of you,
took
Steven.
Everything. That was so tough, and we're still like 8/10 off the pace. That's wild.
I really hope
9/10. They said it's 2:16.8.
Wow! Landolfi finds the last second improvement to a 2:16.845. What a time there! That is incredible stuff. We see a last little gain here. Artis Miller's up into P10. And that just about does it here for qualifying. I think that's everything. Also, Steven, you no longer stink. Apparently, you smell surprisingly good.
Thank you. We needed that improvement. Otherwise, or was Slama ahead of us, Silvio?
Slama is actually still on a lap. But no, they're the one we passed.
Okay.
They are actually, wow, no, thank you for pointing that out. They are dead even on their time. They only need less than a 1/10 to pass the potentially stinky Stephen Wallace. Looks good through Blanchemont. We'll see what happens here into bus stop. Still even on time. Finds the apex. Maybe goes a little bit deep. It's hard to say. They are showing green by less than a 1/10. And note, they are not going to improve. A valiant effort there, but Steven stays in P7 and Slama into P8. So that sets our grid for the next 3 hours. 3 wonderful hours of driving that I, in my overslept and underpracticed state, am very excited for. We've got a little bit of time before the... oh, be nice to me. What are you doing, game? Got a little bit of time here before the next session starts up. So in the meantime, we are going to jump over here for our track walk. We got a good job, guys, from LNS7. And I definitely knew your name at one point. I apologize. Oh man, I forgot how fast this goes. Okay, turn 1 is La Source into the iconic Eau Rouge and Radion onto the Kemmel Straight, the fastest straight in, I think, on the track. For Les Combes, the quick right, left, right, we go around the unnamed turn into the genuinely turn named no name. I can't speak today. In the Pouhon, an incredibly deadly turn if you are not prepared for it. We've got the campus turns here, the right, left, right into Stavelot. Stavelot is a tricky one, and you want to be carrying as much speed as you can because you can take the next turn flat. We've got Blanchemont, the iconic fast left-hander into the bus stop chicane. Also iconic. Spa, just a very iconic track, a fantastic track. We're going to see lots of wonderful racing today, and let's get our second track overview going here. Those numbers at the bottom are incorrect because we didn't have time to make an updated overview, but here we've got Eau Rouge into the Kemmel Straight. Kemmel Straight is a great overtaking opportunity. This is a T1 with the computer, and you can see even the computer are having trouble keeping themselves all together. This is going to be crucial for drivers to get right in turn 1, this first sector, making sure there aren't any big incidents, keeping it safe. It's a long race before we go through Les Combes. I'm noticing Tyler Babin's livery, so this is definitely a live Bez race we're seeing here, or a past Bez race. Into Bruxelles, that's what they call that one. Bruxelles into No Name. Definitely not an overtaking spot there, but some people, if they're feeling real spicy, might go for something into Pouhon. This computer's going for something into Pouhon, and it's definitely not listed as an overtaking spot, but it can be done if you're feeling real juicy in the moment. Here we've got, I believe this is called Campus. Sorry, I just combined Campus and Stavelot. We've got Campus here before Stavelot. Again, Stavelot crucial to get right because this next turn here is full flat if you take it right onto the back straight. Or Paul Frere, I forgot about that one. Yes, technically, or Paul Frere. Paul Frere, actually known for their creation of the Ferrero Rocher. Little known fact there. We've got Blanchemont, very fast turn into bus stop. Hard stop into the bus stop chicane. Definitely an overtaking opportunity if you're feeling brave. And that is a long, arduous lap of Spa-Francorchamps. Steven, as we've got just a couple minutes here left before things start up, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm adjusting some tire pressures at the moment. You mentioned that Camelot was a corner. Do we have the Knights of the Round Table joining us today?
No, we didn't invite them. They are from a silly place.
Ooh.
Yes.
Tire pressures.
It's Napalm. Hello,
Are
Napalm.
That.
Napalm.
I got some PC and ABS.
Thank you for letting me know.
I'm feeling good. I'm just trying to do some procedural things. I'm going to go ahead and put you as the driver to take over.
Beautiful. Yes, so to let everyone know, there will be a brief cut in the stream as Steven and I swap over. Unfortunately, I drive in VR, so I have the game open just on my screen, and then when it's time, probably with about a minute, as Steven starts his last lap, I'm going to have to close the stream, close the game, reopen the game in VR, get everything set. So probably a 2-minute break there in the middle where nobody will be streaming, and Steven will then be taking over. This will be done after the first stint, so about 65 minutes into the race. So do not be alarmed if you're sticking around and the stream ends. You can just wait around for a minute, and the lovely Steven, done with his laps, will be taken over.
Yeah, it should be, in theory, seamless with how quick the transition is. If you just stay on the stream once Reagan ends and I start it, it should just restart on your screen. So don't go anywhere. Don't change that channel. Buzz will be here all day for you.
Really is all day. 3 hours on the clock as we get through our outlap. Drivers warming up their tires, getting themselves ready. 26 teams out here ready to compete. A wonderful number of drivers here. Always great to see bigger lineups. But of course that means a bigger T1. I have not grabbed water or coffee. That is definitely going to be a problem for another time. I should have thought that one through.
Silly Reagan.
Silly Reagan. It would be very interesting to see how turn 1 goes here. We have a real range of driver pace, it seems, which is always good. It means there's lots of room for fights throughout the grid. You definitely want to make sure that every driver has someone around their pace, and it looks like we've got a really, really wide berth we're catching here, or wide net we're casting.
And our viewers probably saw it on the track overview video, but just to reiterate, the start of this race does not take place after the typical final corner or on the pit straight. It takes place where you saw us gridding up on the run to Eau Rouge. So it's a offset start line. I'm not sure why they do it, but they do, and that usually opens the door for some shenanigans to inevitably take place.
Yes, Eau Rouge is, and Stephen, I just want to say we have 20 viewers right now.
Wow.
Yeah, wild stuff. Thank you everyone for popping in. I'm sure we've got lots of teammates in the stream for now, and really appreciate having you here. Certainly have one teammate streaming, and anyone who's having a good time today, ready for a nice 3-hour race, whether it's the evening, afternoon, morning for you, whatever it is. Hope you're ready for some fun. But yes, Eau Rouge is just a fast. I mean, you're going flat, you were going full throttle, no brakes, left, right. The arrow gets very shaky as you're going up the crest of the hill, and lots of drivers wanting to get those early juicy positions. So please everyone, we only ask that drivers are safe and careful. We do not have any race restarts if things go wrong. So if there is a giant pileup, that giant pileup will be live. So for any drivers who are here and listening, please be safe. Please, I beg of you. And we've got just about a second left before the race starts. Landolfi in the lead, hoping to hold off in that BMW. The drivers behind, but everyone here looking to make up spots and keep themselves safe at the start. Let's see how it goes. Landolfi is going through turn 1, which again is not the start. We are waiting for the green, and shortly it'll be going. Drivers lining up nicely. And we're off. Looks like a good exit for Landolfi. Going to be in the front. Let's go to Helicam. Looks like everything nice and clean at the top. Steven making it through. Everyone seems to be making it through okay. This is lovely stuff. Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's keep this going. That is a clean turn 1 through Eau Rouge. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Let's get the position delta up here. We've got a couple drivers going up. One driver, Casella, with a bad start, but otherwise nobody's gone yellow. We've got one driver having to cut through those turns there, which of course is the better option from crashing. I think we do have a couple drivers back. Yeah, we do have some drivers who have been knocked off, but nobody with a big incident. So great job to everyone for making it through that first sector. And we've got a pretty even spread here at the top. We do have Komanok, Wallace, and Salama getting past Casella into 5, 6, and 7. Casella dropping down into 8th place. Otherwise, not a lot of movement on the grid. People are being a little safe. We do have Komanok here side by side having to back off from Jorge. They definitely want to get some of these spots back that they lost early on. And it looks like that might have even caused a mistake here, as they have dropped even one more spot into P9. That is taken up by Carestes, a driver I have not mentioned once yet on the stream, but a beautiful car and a nice little overtake into P8. Things staying smooth. Again, we do have one driver here, Rechnov. We had a little bit too much going on to go back for replays at the start, but we definitely do not have any major incidents. So one driver is just back there a little bit. We'll get the race gaps open as well, so we can all see just how close things are. Komanok and Wallace going into it. Wallace trying to go for a little cutback around the outside of the bus stop. Let's get the Helicam. It looks like, wow, we've got a 3 wide here. A little bit of tapping, but I mean, that's nothing major. And this is exciting, but very scary stuff as we go 3 wide into turn 1. 3 wide turns into 2 wide, and Steven, oh no! Little bit of a tap there. Let's get the replay open as we can see Steven getting a little bit of a good exit, and we'll leave it for the stewards to look at. There might have been a bit of net code. It's hard to see from that angle. And
it looked like I had space to him, but ultimately, that was getting him around, not what we wanted.
I am certainly biased in this situation, so I will try not to leave too much stewarding comments for myself. As we see there, a big move by Carestes, who has to go out, and that's maybe one to be keeping an eye on. That's not the best overtake. We're seeing things getting just a little bit dicey as drivers trying to make up as much space as they can there, but no cracks between the drivers, so all is good. We've got a nice little move here from Gwenel going it down the inside there of, oh man, I should really remember these names. What was that one? Bruxelles, going down the inside of Bruxelles into P16. Really nice move there. Things are staying pretty clean. Of course, we've had a couple incidents. There's always going to be a couple incidents. And I think at this point, I don't know, there's so much going on. I don't really trust the autopilot to get it all, as we have 2 drivers side by side here. Siraj on the inside of Betsy. Betsy, the driver with the... oh no, sorry, that was Casella. Casella, the driver with the big loss at the start. Betsy's simply the one with a very fun last name to say. We've got Nathaniel here up 8 spots. I think, yeah, Nathaniel's one of the drivers who started from the back, and it looks like that decision is really paying off right now. Good dividends there, up 8 spots into P17. Got another move here, Rebattini. Where are you, Rebattini? I cannot find you. Rebattini going up into P13. Oh no! And that is certainly an incident there. Let's get the replay. We can see both the overtake and the consequences of the overtake. So here we've got Rebattini in a P23 going down the inside, and this is that's a bit of a jank there before Blanchemont. Both drivers going into bus stop, and let's see what happens. Yeah, it just looks like that is a tough one, where it looks like Rebattini did not go as far inside to defend, and the driver behind figured they would be able to slip into the outside, and they did not. All they did is shud. So that is an unfortunate one. Hopefully the two drivers don't have too much damage, but that might not be the best to see. As Betsy here, there we go, Betsy into P11 with a very nice move, but some crack back there as well. Things staying pretty quiet up front after that big jump by Slamma into P3. I think that's relatively new there. Steven in P6 up a very nice one spot. Carestes in up 2 spots. Papstel, another driver that I have not talked about very much, at P8 has been able to have a nice quiet start and has slowly gobbled up positions as drivers have made mistakes. Siraj here as well we'll take a look at, up 4 spots. So we do have a 65-minute pit window, I believe is the number. So all of our drivers are probably taking full fuel right now. We'll probably be seeing positions changing around quite a bit during those times. There's a little bit of wiggle room. Of course, 3 hours, 65 minutes. That means you will only have to do 2 pit stops. When you do those stops is going to be a crucial decision, one of many in this race. As we see Nathaniel here in P15. Nathaniel started at the back and has just been flying up 10 spots at the moment as, oh no, Cominac. Oh no, Cominac was in that incident. I completely forgot about that. That is very sad to see. Let's take a look at best times per minute. Somehow we have Landolfi at a 2:17.93 in race pace. Most other drivers doing 2:19s, 2:20s. That is a ridiculous time, but of course they do have the open air that no other driver is afforded at the moment. And that certainly helps. Everyone else has had to do this, for example, as we see Ryan having to duck after going a little bit too deep into... oh man, wow, I should have that track locked down. I apologize, this is again me trying my best not to be doing incoherent rambling, and yet. Lacombe's! Of course it's Lacombe's. Everyone knows it's Lacombe's. And Stephen, how is the race feeling for you at the moment?
Feels good. Lama and I are kind of yo-yoing a little bit in terms of time. Jorge, Silvio, and I setting pretty similar lap times. Pulling away from P8, which feels good. I will say there's been a little bit on my mind in terms of penalties, because since I'm driving, I can see actions being taken. There was a driver disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. That was rescinded by race control. And then another got a drive-through for speeding as well. So not sure what's going on there. The other thing that's been on my mind is the fact that I think there might be an issue with the stint timer, because when the race started, it said that my stint was ending and I need to pit now. The stint timer is ticking up instead of down, and it keeps giving me a message that I need to swap drivers, or just come into the pit. So not sure what's going on there. I don't know if that's going to cause a massive wave of penalties when the first pit stops happen, but something to keep an eye on.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Definitely something for our stewards to keep an eye on. We do have one live steward at the moment able to get rid of penalties. That might be a big problem to have to deal with, but we do have the live steward for a reason. We see here, wow, Cheshire getting right on the back of Dante, trying to go around the outside here, and they are side by side as we see a driver off as well. Wow, P3 and 2 really just going very, very close together through Lecombe, but well, for now Dante's been able to hold off, but Cheshire trying to go down the inside now of Bruxelles, able to do it. Just a little bit of a tap there, and that is P2 for Cheshire. Wonderful move there as we see another driver off. Let's do a quick replay. Lots of drivers. We can see 2 drivers just sitting here at Lacombe's, trying to get themselves back together. And we've got lots of drivers. Oh no, Siraj here seems to have made a mistake. Just a quick one. And once again, the drivers at the back, Garul, Gwenail Garul, and Nathaniel. Garoul. Garoul. Garul is my best guess. And Nathaniel up 13 and 11 spots. Really, really good pace from both of them. We're seeing 219s, 220s, but as their best, but really consistent stuff. So they've just been able to lap up positions as people make mistakes. Siraj down 1 spot after their little mistake, but still going strong. Got a driver in the pits here, Rebettini. And Rebettini, I believe, might have been in one of the incidents. Let's see if it is a penalty. Unfortunately, I've got too many things open, so I can just change you over to race gaps, and that should allow us to see. I see no penalties, which is always good. We don't want penalties. We want people driving, racing, clean and fair. Lucas Sr., another driver who has not been mentioned much this stream, in 19th in that beautiful Ferrari. I believe they're trying to look like the Corvette. It looks vaguely like a Corvette I've seen, but maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to be a Bumblebee, and I've offended them personally. I certainly hope that is not the case. Popstill here, looking like they might want to make a move on Carestes at some time soon. Again, you can see that's very funny. Our green screen effect matches exactly the color, I think, on this Beamer. So we're getting a little bit of that cutoff there. Gets a little squirrely, a little bit of a Tokyo drift through No Name, but keeps it together. And nice and on the apex for Puhan. Nathaniel continues to make up ground in P12 as we see, Komanok making a bit of a move. Let's hope they keep it together. This is looking nice and tidy. Why don't I do a little bit of a replay? Because that looked like a beautiful move there from Komanok. So let's get a replay here. Komanok in the Ford going up against Siraj, I believe. And looks like Siraj gets a little bit wide there through Bruxelles. And definitely gets wide through No Name. And that means that Komanok is able to gobble up that inside for Puhan. Side by side through Puhan is always a very scary thought. And it looks like, I believe Siraj was hoping at that point, knew they couldn't hold it around the outside. We're hoping to maybe switch it back. But Komanok very calmly, collectively stays on the apex and does not allow the switchback to occur. So wonderful move there to get Komanok back into P15. Jorge Esteban comfortably in P4 at the moment. And right behind Dante, half a second back, 0.4 even now. The Porsche definitely excels a little more during the accelerating phase than they will at the top speed phase. Porsche has always struggled with top speed. And you can even see here, even with the draft, they are just not quite making up any time on Dante there, and I believe the McLaren. And that is certainly one of the issues with taking the Porsche. You are going to be making up a ton of time in the turns, but it's quite hard to make an overtake in the turns. So we'll see. You can see right on the back of Dante through Bruxelles, going into No Name. But will he be able to make a move? It might require a capitalization on a mistake. Nathaniel also right behind another driver, this time Betsy in P10. and looking very racy. At 2:18.9 is Nathaniel's best time at the moment. Majority of drivers we're seeing at the top, everyone in front is doing 2:19s, 2:17s. We have a couple drivers doing 2:18s. But everyone behind is doing kind of 2:20s. Everyone in front's doing 2:19s. And here, Nathaniel doing a high 2:18. Thinks about a move through campus, but thinks again, backs off. And I think Siraj may have... Yeah, Siraj is... Ooh, no. Siraj gets a bump. Let's see how this happens. Siraj in the Porsche. And yeah, it just looks like that's a tough one. It looks like the McLaren maybe just wasn't able to get quite onto the apex the way that we would have liked. It's tough. There was room for him. Again, I am trying not to make too many stewarding comments here, just based on my my bias as a driver in this race. And I will leave it at that. Try not to make too many comments on stewarding as a commentator at all, but it's hard not to mention it. Steven has a 10-second penalty for his vicious attack. That is unfortunate for both Steven and myself. But them's
So
the
speaking
breaks.
of that, could you actually look at the stewarding spreadsheet and see if that's right? Because it was given as 2 5-second penalties, and I'm wondering if they only meant to give one.
Okay, I will surely do that. We have one other driver here, Garul, with a 10-second penalty.
Oh, Dante spun.
Dante is spun. Oh, shoot. He's just falling down. I got to get everything back. Let's go drive, and let's go 30-second replay. And let's go to the replay tab and see what the heck happened to Dante here. Dante currently in P9. I believe was in P7 or 8 when this happened.
No, Dante was like P3 or 4.
P3 or 4? Wow. Oh my god, you're right. Wait, they were P3 or 4. Oh no. Okay, yeah, so they got turned around themselves. No, they turned themselves around, got on the curb in Lacombe, and had to wait for a safe spot to rejoin. I do want to give a big shout out to Dante for a safe rejoin there. We always like to see safe rejoins. It's always nice to call them out when we see them, because it just means that everyone gets to continue their race safely. So big shout outs to Dante for owning up to their mistake and not trying to scramble to make up as much time as they can. Steven, I will jump over and try to find that stewarding document, if I know where it is. Where is our stewarding document? Oh, Papstel. Shoot, Papstel just got turned around. Sorry, Steven, I might not be able to find that in time. We're going to have to go to a replay here because we've got Papstel, who was in P. Oh, I'm not sure what position they were in when
I think 8 or 7 maybe, because they were behind Carestes, right?
I believe so. I believe they were. You seem to know more than I do. And here we've got, wow, 3 wide. That's unfortunate. 3 wide through there is just so difficult. I mean, it's hard to fault anyone for that one. That's what happens when you go 3 wide. You just can't quite find all of the room. So that is unfortunate. But only one driver really suffered any harms for it, and the harms were quite massive. Nathaniel here, getting past Dante, but Dante just got bumped. A little bit of a bump here, and they've now fallen down. Nathaniel is just flying through the field, driving. I mean, that was the first time I'd seen any real dangerous aggression, and it didn't really look dangerous again. It's a tap, so it'll show up on the stewarding sheet. Sometimes we like to go to replays to get a better look at things that have happened, and sometimes we simply we'll leave it for the stewards. So a bit of a tap there. The angle was a bit awkward for us to be able to make any sort of decisions on it. Steven, I'm sure you would like to see a penalty at the moment. It's not for us, for them. For anyone who's not us.
Fully. Give Slama a penalty.
Slama, Esteban, Cheshire, and Lendolfi should all be disqualified for being faster than us.
Exactly. Although I have seen Slama, that Aston likes to go wide, exiting Stavelot. So maybe we'll see a track limits drive-through come in, but I don't want to bank on that.
I would never be sad about that, of course. Lots of, again, I mean, this is a track. Do we have any driver? Do we have any track limit warnings at the moment?
We do not. I have tried to keep it clean.
Beautiful.
At least on track. Contact with other cars, that's a different story.
Just the one. Show the livery of your car. I would love to show the livery of our car. We've got the Jordan livery on at the moment. Here we go. Here's... I guess we can't do like backwards. What's the best? How do we show it?
If you hit F7, gives you a free camera.
That is true. That is true. But here we go. Here's actually, there's a good view of it. The starting grid view is a good view of the Jordan livery here. It is, of course, stolen. We did not have time to put together our own livery, but it is a beautiful livery that we were very happy to find. And thank you, Stephen, for finding it. So we have what is happening here. What are you doing? Let's go to a quick replay on Mac. Mac just goes, oh, that could have been real bad. It was real bad for Mac. Mac just dancing like a ballerina through Eau Rouge and splatting like a mosquito into the wall. Dante here, 0.4 seconds behind Papstel for P10. We do have a couple championships that this race will be a part of. We have our endurance-only series, which will be a number of races. I believe because one got canceled, 3 races in the year that will all go towards a final overall endurance points total. Those totals are banked based on driver, so each driver will get the same number of points if you finish in first. I'm not actually sure what the scoring criteria is, and as a commentator, that's probably not a great thing to admit. But first place, we'll just say 25, and both drivers get 25, and if they decide to drive with other drivers for the next race, they will carry those 25 points both. As we see Garul just pulling off to the side. Not sure what's happening there. They are just off safely on the side there. Still stopped. Maybe some technical issues for them. You never want to see technical issues for drivers here. But they still can happen, even in sim racing. Dante right on the back of that BMW. Let's get the helicam going, see if they're able to get the move done. They're going for the outside here of Lecombe, and Dante decides, Dante lets physics make the decision for them, and they fall back into P10 as they get a little squirrely there. And they will try to make up that 1.87 seconds. Why was it 1.87? I do not know. Stephen here in a nice little gap between cars. They do say if gap, car. So Stephen has made a wonderful choice there. At front, Landolfi has just been setting very, very nice. 2:18.9 was their last lap time. Just slowly making up pace. About 4.5 seconds is the delta to Cheshire. Cheshire's put up some really good pace himself, a 19.5 last lap, but Esteban a 19.2 last lap. So we can do a little comparison here if the game wants us to. Boy, I wish I had my glasses. But you can see, yeah, Sector 1 The Porsche is having trouble pulling along, but in Sector 2 and 3, that Porsche can really shine, and we're seeing green, especially in Sector 2, the topsy-turvy section of the track. Unsurprising that the Porsche would be excelling there. We've got Carastez in this Ray-Ban Porsche, working their way up into Turn 1, into La Source. On the brakes, turns the car, hits the gas, as you should. And we're jumping over to Mac here. We've got lots of drivers at the back. You can see we've got some drivers.
Someone spun after a Rouge.
Oh, it's Cheshire. It's Cheshire, yeah. Oh, shoot, this was supposed to be a 20-second replay. But, regardless, we'll just spend some extra time waiting to see what happened to Cheshire. Cheshire was in P2, so this is huge. Cheshire now down into P5. Let's see what happens here. Gets a little bouncy. Oh, goes way too far inside. Ooh, okay, that could have been a lot worse. That could have been so much worse. Woo-hoo. Yeah, doesn't quite slam onto the straight into the wall as one often does through there, as we have here another replay we'll watch. This one for Dexter Cray. Dexter just gets a little bit too aggressive going through Lacombe. But yeah, that is a huge hit for Cheshire. We will have to see how the car is driving, and we will have to see if they are able to make up for this big loss, because they were very feisty out there. They had good pace, and down into P5 now.
So did they just spin, or did they get into the wall at all?
Slightly into the wall. Into the wall. I mean, they were going very fast, but they hit the knot. They didn't hit flat into the wall. They scraped against it. So the left side of their car is probably not feeling particularly good right now. But it's certainly not, the kind of race-ending hits that you can often see.
I needed better news than that if I'm going to have any hope of holding him behind.
Well, he's very, very quick. And, at least through bus stop, no real issues we're seeing there. This lap time will not be representative, but maybe we can see. I'll do a little comparison here to see how sectors 2 and 3 went. So in sector 3, you were slightly faster. In sector 2, they were actually slightly faster than you. So it seems like the aero is okay, surprisingly okay on that car. I'm very sorry to say. Porsche with the Ferrari logo. I'm honestly not sure what you're talking about. As we see here, Nathaniel going for a move on Carestez. Nathaniel, once again, is just booming through the field here, up into P7 and through Les Combes without issue. Let me take a look at manufacturers, find myself a Porsche. Did I say Porsche with the Ray-Ban? Okay, so I'm just an idiot. That makes sense. Yes, the Ferrari with the Wait. Porsche with the Ray-Ban. It was a Ferrari with the Ray-Ban livery. Thank you. I'm trying my best here, I swear. Wow, Cheshire, even with that damage, is still flying here.
Yep. I don't like it.
I can't. I have to commentate. I don't have time to go make coffee. And then I have to drive. Oh, Kurt, you don't know. You don't even understand. And I haven't eaten that much food. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I yearn for sleep. And yet here we are. 2.5 hours left. Shoot. Cheshire creeping ever so slowly towards Stephen.
Yeah, Simone went wide in the midway portion through Stavelot, compromised my run, but Cheshire just biding his time, taking it patient, I'm appreciative, but one way or another, he's going to get around me. I think.
Well, it is hard to say. It lost a little bit of time there in bus stop, but still feels very confident with the car here. Stephen and I did not get as much practice in as we'd like, and it seems like Cheshire has very much been practicing. They look very comfortable, even driving a damaged car. They're handling. Oh, they had to cut Eau Rouge a little bit, so I say that, but maybe the Arrow is just a little bit trickier to handle than they were hoping for. Still means, oh my goodness, what is happening here? Please let me watch the overtake. And
I let
there
him by.
it is. There's Cheshire back into P4 after that crash. Stephen back into a still respectful P5, but does now have Casella behind, who was able to take advantage of the slower pace that Stephen and Cheshire were dealing with while fighting each other. And we actually have quite a few cars between like 4th all the way down to 8th who are just really chomping at the bit here. I am going to be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to grab some water and maybe a little bit of food, because once I'm driving for 2 hours, those are going to be very important. So I'll be right back. Stephen, you can give us your lovely commentary. You know what I will do? I will leave the autopilot on, and that's about it, actually. That's my idea.
Excellent.
I will be right back.
Well, hello, audience. It's your boy, Steven. I don't think you're able to see penalties coming in, but we have card number 111. I have no idea who it is, but they've been given a total of 35 seconds worth of penalties. Not sure what those incidents were. Again, I don't even know who they are, but they are not going to be happy with all of that time being added to their final time at the end of the race. Going a little deep here. Ooh, and almost get collected by Casella there. That was a little randy. That's not what I wanted to have happen. A 21.3. What a slow lap that was. Going through T1, Cheshire, last lap, made up quite a bit of time in there, so maybe a little more confident on the brakes, or maybe running a little less ABS allows them to brake harder and deeper into that corner. The car is feeling definitely a little more like a slip and slide as the race goes on. Reagan and I pulled a hot lap setup from YouTube. Slapped some fuel in it and called it good. 34 minutes into the stint, I am feeling why it's a hot lap setup. Almost losing the rear end there, because I've left my traction control way too far down than what it should be at. Cutting off Casella there, going to block the inside. And this is bringing Nathaniel up into the mix. Nathaniel up quite a number of places. I think he started 25th or something like that. Going a little wide there. No track warning. Yeah, so the rear tires, I think with the setup that we have, they're definitely crying. A wee little bit. It's cost me quite a bit of time. Lost a lot to Cheshire going through Lake Home. That's because I had my traction control set way too low. What Reagan and I do to get some extra bite out of the final and first turn of the lap, since it's a much slower set of corners, we throw our traction control. We normally keep it at 5 out of 12. We throw it down to 2. But of course, that requires us to put it back up if we want to survive for the rest of the lap. So I forgot to do that through Lake Home. Casella and Nathaniel going very wide off track behind me. Not sure what they are up to, but yeah, all through the corners back there, they are, I think, getting quite a few track limit warnings, would be my guess. We are 2 seconds slower than Cheshire that lap. Oh. A very feisty move from Nathaniel there. I thought Casella was going to go for it. Then Nathaniel came out of nowhere, and I had to take a little bit.
Back.
Oh, I've been talking the whole time. You were away.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, good. Well, just I'm back. And also my cats. I forgot to close the door on.
Yeah. Nathaniel made a very feisty move on Casella, almost got into the back of us, and is now, I think, going to go up our inside.
Steven, this is a family program. We can't talk about that kind of stuff. But it does seem
I
like he
know.
wants to make the overtake. And I think there it is. Goodbye, kitties. I love you so much. Please be nice. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're ready. I don't have coffee, but I do have water in the sandwich. And honestly, I guess that's good enough.
Yeah, I was telling our viewers, the rear end is awful right now.
Oh.
I am starting to feel why this is a hot lap setup.
Oops. It's fine. Everything
It's fine.
is
If I really needed to, I could turn up the traction control a little bit. It's just keeping the car light and playful for right now.
Those are good terms. Light and playful. That's what I want out of my car.
Yeah, Nathaniel on an absolute tear, already over a second ahead of me.
Yeah, they are absolutely flying.
Stella flashing, not sure why. You gotta... And they just lost their rear end, so... Casella, how about you learn how to drive before you give me the old flash and dash?
Oh, Steven getting feisty with the comments. Casella getting a little squirrely there too, trying some intimidation tactics.
I think Casella's just upset they didn't get a cool livery for their McLaren like we have.
We do have a cool livery. They have no livery. This is the difference. They have less paint. It's weight reduction.
Yeah. They got a hell of a run.
Wow,
through,
yeah, they're flying.
I don't know what they did, but it worked for them.
Yeah, jeez Louise, that is a
Did they cut?
Tear. I don't think so. I think that was just a gangbusters release. That was crazy.
Damn.
Steven back into P7. Well, Steven, the good news is, as soon as I start driving, none of this is going to matter, because I'll be about a second a lap slower than you, so it doesn't really matter that much at all. Lendolfi making a 13-second gap here on P2, Jorge Esteban. Now, there's been some shenanigans in that P2 slot, quite a bit, but still Lendolfi having a nice, quiet, quick race for themselves.
Now, could you tell me who is car 111? Because they got like 35 seconds of penalties while you were away.
Ivan Rekhnov. I have not seen Ivan Rekhnov's name pop up. I feel like I've seen that car. Maybe they swapped around. Stizio has the best livery. What's your car number there, Stizio? My good friend Stizio. Appreciate the follow. That's popping up in my feed. That came up yesterday. Appreciate it. Let's go take a look at car number 28. It's this one. This is a good livery. I do like this. The Bumblebee. Yeah. That is a solid livery. Apologies for the chewing. What will only be known henceforth as the chewing. I am not well prepared for this stream. I never am. This is no exception. With the additional bonus of me having about 3 hours of sleep. Got a long line of cars here from P7, 8, 9, and 10. All about second and a half gap there. Anything could happen. Drivers need to keep their wits about them, don't they, Stephen?
Indeed they do.
Pop still looks like the first to break. They have crossed the 2-second barrier. There's no coming back from that. As we see, oh no! Simon goes yellow. Why did Simon go yellow? Oh, why did Simon go yellow?
Leaving the pits?
Maybe just leaving the pits. Where are they? No. I don't think there were any actual issues there. I'm really not sure. Odd stuff. Got Evans here, Andrew Evans, driver. I haven't heard that name yet. It's in that car. I know that Beamer. It's a very beautiful Beamer that we have on a track here. Coming up, Eau Rouge. And continues to drive their automobile. That's what our drivers are doing here today. They are driving their automobiles. And we are simply watching them.
What an apt description.
Man, we got 3 hours to fill. What do you want from me?
Hey, 2 hours 18 left.
I've never understood John Madden more than when I started commentating and just realizing how easy it is for just the stupidest garbage to come out of your mouth. Like, if this car is faster than the other car, they might pass them. That's a little thing. You cannot win a race where you don't cross the finish line. There's a
So
good
you
one.
said John Madden. Did you mean Will Buxton?
I actually meant John Madden. Well, Will Buxton is also really stupid with his commentary. And honestly, Will... Oh, no!
What was that?
Oh,
I see what it was.
Oh, shit.
I see a lot of yellow behind me.
Oh, no. Oh, that looked painful. Oh, man, that's not bueno. Let's keep an eye on what happens here. Siraj going a little... What the heck happened? This is supposed to be a 20-second... I clicked on the wrong driver. I am so sorry. Jeez, they're still there. Oh, man, that is a beat-up car. Oh, boy. Yeah, Dante and Carestes are just limping themselves back. That was a big shunt. One of the biggest we've seen today. And, wow, yeah, they are just trying their best to make it back. You can see Dexter here. We'll be coming by some very, very broken cars in short order and getting a couple of positions off of that to boot. Yeah, that is the problem with the Camel Straight No Rouge. It is fast. There's no room for error, and when things go wrong, they go very, very wrong. Steven, how's our fuel looking? How much time do we have?
Give me 1 sec. We have 36 liters. Should be good for 8 laps.
8 laps. Okay, so
9 if I do a little bit of saving.
Well, here with we will time this so that with about, I want to say 2 laps left. I will leave. I will change the title of the video to be back in 5, and then I will quit the game, swap over to VR, and proceed to crash the car in a couple laps.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. Oh, Carestes. This is not good. That is a beat-up car. They are valiantly trying to get themselves back. Probably at least a couple minutes of damage. And, Yeah, that is oof. I think is the best way to put that one. That is a big oof.
But is it an oofda?
Oof. Da.
Is that a saying in Canada? Oofda?
I don't think so. Not in my area of Canada.
Must be a Minnesota thing.
It sounds like a Minnesotan thing. I feel like Minnesotans would like to add like oh, that's an oofda.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a real. These cars are going real fast there, and when they crash, that's a bit of an oofda. Slama comfortably in P3, and the Aston Martin, not a very popular car at the moment. Hasn't been. I mean, was once when I started playing in ACC. Was a very fast, very competent car, driven by Bobby Matthews. Bobby Matthews, winner of, I believe, Season 1 and 2 of Bez Racing Team. And since then, both the car and the Bobby have dropped off. As Nathaniel gets a little squirrely there, all the way up in P5. What a run, making maybe the right call to... on one hand, you could say they made the right call starting at the back. On the other hand, they have the pace to be fighting with Landolfi, and maybe not so much pace that they can make up this gap. Now, there is 2 hours and 13 minutes left. Lots of time for things to change. If there's any driver on this grid right now who looks like they may have a chance at catching Landolfi, it is Nathaniel, the driver who decided to start at the back. So they have hemorrhaged early positioning. Hemorrhage is maybe a weird name. They bloodlet themselves, I guess, at the start.
No, hemorrhage made sense.
Well, I guess the hemorrhage makes it sound like they are currently losing positions quickly, but they lost all of the positions by not qualifying. So they purposefully bloodlet themselves, maybe. This is a weird analogy. They decided to start at the back, and now they're near the front. My name is Will Buxton. Thank you for coming to my Ted Kravitz talk. Don't we all just want to finish the race? But that doesn't create tension. That doesn't get the viewers going. We need excitement, goddammit. Nathaniel might not win this race now because of that one decision. Will they be able to make it back? We'll keep an eye on it. Don't go anywhere, viewers, unless you're planning on driving. And then
we do have the admin password, so we could exit and come back in and cause some havoc.
Oh God, that would be quite fun. We did already get some congratulations for winning in the Discord after we found out that we had admin privileges, and have decided that everyone will be disqualified. Good news for the Stephen Wallace team, bad news for the Casella team. Casella does have a 5-second penalty. Now Stephen / my team / our team has a 10-second penalty from an early collision. We do have Dr. Cray, it's actually Dexter Cray, but Dr. Cray sounds pretty fun, with a 5-second penalty, and Ivan Rekhnov with 35 seconds of penalties. That is a big number of seconds of penalties.
Oh, yellow flag ahead, according to
yellow ahead.
The game. Slow car ahead.
We do have someone who seems to have crashed in Eau Rouge.
I think it's L Mac.
Mac, they have a lot of damage on their car after a shunt in Eau Rouge, and I think they are struggling to deal with that. I've seen them crash a couple times there, and I mean that's the thing about spas. Once that balance goes off, I mean you have to have confidence in your car to go up Eau Rouge. If you don't, you will die, as many of our drivers already have, and I'm sure Mac has lost just that little bit of confidence in their setup and in their the way that the car is driving, and I mean that's it. That's
must not be feeling very big right now.
Okay, that was good. Yeah, Big Mac. That's the thing. People have Big Macs. McDonald's, eat fresh.
That was good. That was funny. That was a classic subversion of expectations.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. You know, I'm just out here. I have lists of puns in front of me that I just pick out, you know. They're all from... I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't have anything in front of me. I never prepare. I really should just go back to bed. Steven, you can finish off the race, right?
I am kind of looking forward to being done. Not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy to be driving in, what, 10 minutes?
Give me one sec.
Phoenix with a nice move. Let's go watch that move again. Phoenix going down the inside for bus stop. Really has ridiculous pace. I don't know how that car had so much top speed. I mean, they got the draft, but must be a setup thing there, as they were able to confidently and comfortably get through on the bus stop. So very nice stuff for them. Up into P4, up 21 entire spots. Thank you. Good luck in the 24-hour race that Steven's going to be participating in as well.
Is that Vigard? Magnus?
Yes, it's Vigard. Vigard's Cuddles, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Vigard. Wishing us good luck, and wish you good luck too. So we got Dexter Cray going in to the pits. I'm going to deal with their penalty. And probably put on some fresh rubber. Slama here, right on the back of Jorge. Jorge's been sitting comfortably in P2 for a long time. But Slama has some very solid pace. And the Porsche is great in the corners, but not so great in a straight line. It can brake very well too, so it's not the easiest car to overtake. But I mean, this Aston is right behind. Let's get that front splitter going. They are riding around the outside here. Wow, side by side through Blanchemont. That's nutty. I don't think I've ever seen anyone go side by side through Blanchemont. That does give them the inside. They are side by side through bus stop, and some wonderful defense. Oh no! Oh, that was going so well. Oh, it was going so well, and then Slama just got maybe slam out a little bit. Slam is obviously not what happened there. Just a touch that put Jorge off, and Slama up into P3. I'm curious if they'll give the spot back or simply take the penalty, because it wasn't necessarily a big hit, but it certainly was the reason that the overtake was done. So we'll just have to see. What happens there, obviously, will be in the steward's hands, regardless of whatever my ramblings say, so we'll leave it in. Who knows? Maybe there's another angle that shows a different story than just the single one I got to see. Regardless, that is... What the heck? How did you do that? Nathaniel, through all of that chaos, into P2, passed both of them. And that is now Slama still in P3, and Jorge, the loser, down into P4. And wow, Nathaniel has the C part for them. And they're 21.5 seconds back on Landolfi, and looking to make up some time. Gap's definitely a bit wider at the back. We've got Cray coming out of the pits here, served their penalty, probably added some new tires on. It's about the time for it. Got Komanoke here in the Ford. making a move potentially on Papstel for P9. We had a little bit of a move here as well as Siraj goes into the pit, so actually 0 moves. Oh, Komanok just sticking their nose out there just a little bit. That would have been a crazy place to try something, but all it takes is an idea sometimes. That Porsche, wow, or that Ford was right on the edge there. It somehow didn't slip, but definitely felt like they could have been. Why would you give me the rear wing on the car that is following? Why would you do that, ACC TV? That was odd. Thinking about a move, but they realized it was not quite the time. We've got Papstel going a little defensive. Both drivers just making light choices, not committing too hard to an overtake attempt or a defense attempt. Just enough to kind of say, hey, I'm watching you. I know what you might be trying. Simon showing yellow very briefly. That goes away. And here it looks like Komanok got a good exit. You almost want to be careful. Sometimes you don't want to get too good of an exit or you'll find yourself having to lift going through Eau Rouge, and you really want to be getting that throttle down as much as possible, but Komanek takes it very well, and you can see here right on the back of Papstel going out to the outside and looks to have that top speed advantage, and Papstel is fighting back through Lacombe. They're going side by side, and it does mean that Papstel takes the spot back. Komanok going to have to go for another attempt. Clean driving there for both drivers to stay in place. Another driver coming out of the pits. We're going to be seeing a lot.
5-second penalty for number 74.
5-second penalty for 74? Oh, wow. 5-second penalty for 74. That is Nathaniel. Curious
Really?
why that happened. Yeah.
Maybe just trying to add on to the last to first challenge. 14, they also got a 5-second.
14's got a 5-second. 14 is rigatoni, my favorite type of pasta.
Oh, stop and go for car number 2.
Oh, jeez. Car number 2. Nabil in P20. Last lap was a 2:19.9, so pretty good pace, but down in P20. They have done 1 pit stop, so a lot of damage they fixed there. So that's possibly, I'm guessing, maybe pit stop speeding related issues. And Nathaniel going in to swap tires and fix their stuff. Okay, Steven, it is go time. How much fuel do you have left?
As I cross the line, I have 3 laps.
Okay. 3 laps. Now, I believe it's a 65-minute pit window. Am I correct?
Yes, so we might just make it under that.
I don't think we're going to be able to do 2 laps, because that's 6 minutes. Oh, ooh. No, it's 7 minutes. It's 7 minutes, because it's 6 plus the 20 seconds. So I think you can only do 2 laps. So I think that means we're kind of at a 4-minute warning here.
Sounds good.
And what that means is that I am going to...
Damn it. Warning 1, track limits.
I have changed the name of the stream so everyone knows we're coming right back. And to everyone in the chat, don't go away. We will be swapping drivers and swapping streamers, so Steven will be taking over. I will be jumping into the rig, and we will catch you all in just about 5 minutes once everything is up and running. So we will see you then.
And welcome back, everybody. We are live once again. Stream's been up for a little bit, but we have just been getting audio, broadcast, everything ready and good to go. As we see Alexei Markov showing something. Let's see if we can get a replay going, which will show what happened to Alexei. But after the pit cycle, I believe we are in P9. Reagan, is that correct?
P9 is correct, with P8 right in front of us.
Right in front of Reagan, so that 10-second penalty that I incurred hurt us a little bit, but still a top 10. I will take that. We are watching still a replay of Markov, a very feisty AMG behind, and taps Markov going into campus. That is Markov off track. Didn't lose too much time, thankfully, but definitely cost a couple of positions. That'll be reviewed by the stewards as always.
They don't call him Mark on.
Markov.
Call him Markov.
That's funny.
Thank you. I'm quite witty when I'm trying to focus on driving. I feel like I have I feel like I've become infamous for crashing while trying to talk. Exactly. That's how I feel. Or at least going deep in a bus stop. So, oops.
Oh, that's what I forgot to get the gaps up. Secondary data, race gaps. So we have Benjamin Field, who we are watching right now, just a couple tenths behind Coleman, as we see Luca Bertololo showing some contact back here. Let's take a... Oh, that's showing up. No, I wanted Bertololo. And this is a replay. So we have Bertololo. Oh, and a feisty McLaren behind. Gets that Lexus all turned around. Not what we want to see, and then gets nearly sideswiped by, I believe that is a BMW. I have not seen liveries really since I've been driving, so I am not sure who is who. It's going to take me a little bit, but yeah, between P5, 6, 7, 3 drivers separated by less than 2 seconds, so we have a very exciting battle for those positions. Landolfi has extended their gap over Nathaniel to 15 seconds. Nathaniel very, very quick, up quite a few spots. So we'll have to see if Nathaniel over the next hour and 46 minutes is able to keep that gap any.
Hour 46.
Hour 46. Reagan, you've been out of the car for a good while. How does it feel to be back in?
It's, you know what? I do like sim racing. This is fun. I'm so tired, and I can barely think straight. But I'm aiming for mid-220s, and I did a mid-220s. So, you know what? I'm apparently doing as good as I can.
And as good as you can is what we like to hear, as Kolmanok and Stefano Casella having a tight battle, maybe a little too tight. We're showing a little bit of contact between these two drivers. Kolmanok going up the inside into T1, gets the move done on that McLaren. Very nice work.
What a move it was.
Oh, Landolfi showing a yellow flag. Landolfi is off.
Oh, shit. I mean, shoot.
After...
It's the family stream.
Oh, that is very off. We got to do a 30-second replay here. Let's helicam this bad boy. So coming through after the Kemmel straight, left and right. Contact with a back marker. Porsche went left, veered right into Landolfi. Nothing Landolfi could have done there. Basically got taken out and into the wall. That's going to be a little bit of damage there. Still in P1, but the gap down to 2.5 seconds. So lost
Wow.
all of their advantage. Nathaniel very much into this race now. And that gap is closing even more. Landolfi, I would not be surprised if they have a not significant amount of damage, but they are definitely going to be carrying a little bit of aero damage on that car. Let's go ahead and take a look at Landolfi and try and see if we can take a look. Yeah, so you can see that hood is fluttering around quite a bit. Let's take a look at the free cam here. So yeah, quite a bit of extensive damage on this front end. Hood rattling around like crazy. It seems to be located primarily just on the front end, maybe a little bit of rear damage as well, and a tiny bit potentially on the left, or that could just be a tire sludge coming up. But the gap now, you can see Nathaniel just in the background there as I need to Alt-Tab out, and we can get that going back again to Nathaniel and get some TV cam going. But that gap still hovering around 2 seconds. Nathaniel in that black Ferrari trying to get around a back marker there. Gets a little bit held up, losing a tiny bit of time here to Landolfi in P1. But as we said, this battle very much on P22 is holding up Nathaniel here. Nathaniel able to get around there. We were looking before at the battle between Casella, Kolmanuk, and Field. Kolmanuk very briefly was ahead of Casella. Casella has gotten back around, reclaims P5, and has roughly a 1 second advantage. And Markov, who we were taking a look at before, showing a yellow flag, looked to be localized around Eau Rouge, but
Eau Rouge.
Yeah, I don't know why it came out of my mouth like that. That was gross.
Well, I never asked. How was your sleep last night, Stephen?
You know, my sleep was fine. I'm somebody who habitually falls asleep a little after midnight, so that's when I went to bed. And for some reason woke up around 5:15, 5:30. My alarm was set for 8, so I do not know why my body wanted me to be awake that early, but I was. Tried to go back to sleep for a couple hours, couldn't do it, but around 8, I think I was able to fall asleep again for about 1 more hour. So a little topsy-turvy, not the best. Was hoping to get some more solid sleep before the 3 races I'm participating in today. But, c'est la vie.
3? What's the 3rd?
The other iRacing league that I'm in.
Oh, good lord.
Yep.
You got a full day.
That's an LMP3 GT4 league at the Charlotte Roval.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'll just be trying to keep it out of the wall as much as possible.
Oh, Stephen, I just got a track limits warning.
Ooh, 2 out of 4 before we get a drive-through penalty. So on average, we can get 1 per stint and be fine. Any more than that, and Reagan will be taking a long trip through the pit lane. Spa, I think, has by far the longest pit lane on the ACC calendar, or rostrum of tracks. So a drive-through around here, very, very costly. And you have been catching up quite a bit to Bart in P8.
I have been.
How do you feel?
A little nervous. Close enough to think about it.
Let's take a look over at Mr. Leckman in the Jordan McLaren. Bart DeCower EBT. Now, I know EBT as meaning some sort of thing with debit cards. I have to guess that Bart's last name does not have to do with a debit card. Would you agree, Reagan?
That would be some crazy marketing. But I can't imagine that is the case.
EBT, a nice, bright, blue and green BMW. I don't know what it is about it, but for some reason it reminds me of, and this is a very weird comparison, but it gives me some nostalgia for Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Ooh.
I think just some of the bright roller coaster trains you could have on there, it's just giving me that fun, whimsical vibe that I used to get playing that game. Did you ever play the good old RCT, Reagan?
I sure did. Had a lot of fun with that game.
Which one did you play? 1, 2, or 3?
I believe it was 2, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
The best. It wasn't 3D, right?
It was not 3D, no.
Good. Yep, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, my childhood in a nutshell. I still play it every now and again. They have kind of like fan versions called Open RCT2, where they allow cheats and mods and things like that. Open up the possibilities, and Reagan opening up their possibilities on Bart. This TV view showing a blank track, not doing us any favors. Reagan looking to the outside. Oh, maybe making it work on the brakes. Bart, I think, just able to hold on for now. Holding Reagan behind. We got to switch over to some helicam because the TV cameras it was giving us were not doing us.
Some of them are not great, yeah.
Yeah, not doing any justice. Kolmanok still staying behind Casella for the time being. That battle also very close together. The two of them collectively have gapped Ben Field by about 5 seconds, so they are pulling away. I think my fiancée Sarah might be heading to the pool. I think I smell some sunscreen coming from underneath the door.
Unfortunately, this guy is defending quite well, because I think I've got maybe just a bit of pace on him, but can't find a way past.
Bart DeCower, more like Bart Defender. EBT.
EBT.
Showing me a best lap time for Bart, a 2:21.0, a 2:20.5 for Reagan. So, Reagan, you have the pace. Where is it?
I'm looking.
Show us
I'm
the
looking
pace.
real hard.
Kolmanuk still less than a second behind Casella here, riding on board the helicam. Maybe we will take a look at this front splitter and see how close 0.7 of a second looks between Kolmanuk and Casella. And Casella looking a little wobbly there in that McLaren. Gap is down to less than half a second here. And oh, Reagan, anything happened to you? I see a white indicator popping up.
Yeah, just a little bit of maybe a little bit of sneaky defending, we'll call it. A little bit of moving under braking. Someone get the stewards on it. Don't actually.
We have 3 tight battles going on, or actually more, because further on down the field, Luca Bertuolo just 0.2 behind Lantern Mac is LMAC's full name, but P1 and P2 separated by less than a second. P5 and 6 separated by 0.7, P8 and 9 separated by 0.4, P16, 17 separated by 0.4. So even though we are almost halfway through this race, still quite a few battles up and down this field. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have 12 viewers hanging out with us.
Oh, great.
Do not leave. The battles are still raging as they ever have.
Do not leave. You are not allowed to.
You are not allowed. I think I turned. Oh, Reagan making the pass. We'll have to take a 30-second look at this. So this is coming up through the good old Blanchimont. Reagan behind in that yellow Jordan, trying to get a run on the BMW of Bart. Bart seemingly going slow. Maybe had to lift a little bit. Reagan sending it on the brakes up the inside and clears Bart halfway through the final chicane. What a move, Reagan. How do you feel about that one?
I felt good. I was a little nervous, but he left me a bit of space on the inside. We both got through it clean. I'm very happy.
And here that pace is coming out. Already a 2-second gap behind you. Feel free to run away. 17-second gap to Field ahead, and Field's last lap time. Let's do a little comparison. If my right click button has been messed up a little bit recently, so it was hard to get that comparison up, but only a second lost on that last lap, Reagan. But now that you are clear of Bart, I think you can match, if not beat, good old Mr. Field. So you are relinquished. Someone else who is relinquished is Nathaniel on Alessandro. They are separated by just about 1/10 of a second, rounding out this lap. This is going to be a hell of a battle to watch here, as we see a couple drivers in the pits. Not sure what for. Might be for some damage repair. We have Matthias Carestes, who was right behind us earlier on this race. So they are falling behind quite a bit. Alexei Markov, we've seen them pop up for some yellow flags. We are riding on board on the front splitter of Nathaniel, or we were. We're now with Pashoff, who got around a back marker there. We want Nathaniel. Give us more Nathaniel. Give us an onboard of Nathaniel. Lost a little bit of time on the run up through Eau Rouge. Might have been too close, as Reagan was mentioning before. You don't want to be too close behind the car ahead, or you might have to lift through that run. But Nathaniel definitely showing that they have the pace over Alessandro. Again, Alessandro collected by a back marker a few laps ago, most likely carrying a slight bit of damage, could be costing them in the pace department. Now we have Valentin Masic in P10, about a second behind Bart. Reagan has left Bart in the dust. I think it's fair to say that gap now sitting around 3 seconds.
Well, I was very scared because the guy who's catching up to Bart seems to have some good pace, and I saw him just creeping up closer and closer as the two of us were fighting. So it's nice to have that little bit of a gap for now.
A little bit of a gap for now. A gap has also opened up between P1 and 2, now 2 seconds. It was less than half a second when they crossed the line last time around, so Nathaniel lost some time there. Not sure what's going on. A 2:21.1 That is not what you would expect from Mr. Fever PHX. Stefano Casella showing a white flag, might be losing a little bit of time. L. Mac, Mr. Lantern, showing a little bit of a yellow flag as well. We have a couple of collisions being investigated, it looks like. Yeah, car number 992, I believe, was given a drive-through penalty for their collision with Alessandro Ladolfi. I think it's definitely harsh, gonna hurt for them to see that, but as a back marker, driving dangerously like that and taking out the leader, definitely not good. And I wonder if maybe the stewards thought there could have been some intentionality behind that. Might be a reason for the severity of that penalty.
Wait, is this the car that was behind EBT?
No, the car that was behind 992, they are down in the low 20s. But they were a back marker being, they're in P21 right now. Nikita Doda, Alessandro Ladolfi leading the race was getting around them after Lake Home, and Doda was over on the left side of the track. As soon as Landolfi got to the right side of them, Doda turned right into our leader and took him out.
That is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Unfortunate for our leader, who lost a 15-second gap. They're still leading the race, but picked up a good amount of damage and has picked up a car just 1 second behind them in the mirror. We have Silvio Slama in P4 trying to get around a Lexus there. That's car number 14. Luca Bertuolo. Easy there. And Reagan, you can stop worrying because Valentin Masice has been in the pit for a good while now. They should not be worrying you at all for the moment.
That is what I was wondering about.
Yeah, so you have Bart 4 seconds behind, and then Alessandro Bezzi 13 seconds behind them. So good bit of gap, and you are catching slightly on Benjamin. So P7 could still be on the table.
We'll see. I'm very happy with my pace. 220s is what I was hoping for. 220s is what I'm doing. And, I'm sure there's more exciting drivers to be looking at than myself right now, but I would try to create some excitement in the future.
Well, I was just going to say we are on board with you right now. We are watching your helmet cam. Would you be able to grace us with maybe a little bit of a commentary as you go through this lap?
Oh God. Okay. Well, yeah. Going on to the Camel Straight here. I'm looking out for the striping on the curbing on the left side here. Going to brake just a bit before it, being nice and safe. It is an endurance race after all. Going down into third, carrying some speed through here. This section is a little stuffy. Third gear is a bit too high. Second gear is a bit too low, so we try to carry speed and keep it in third. Coming down once again, looking at the curbing here. For Bruxelles, very tricky turn. You're trying to keep it. I'm not sure if it's best to go a little wide and be able to stop earlier. Wow, lots of turns left. Going through No Name there, bumpy, tricky turning before we go into Wuhan. Going to be up in fifth gear and then breaking in a straight line to fourth, and then trying to carry that speed through. Maybe I shouldn't be commentating, because that was a really bad Bruxelles, or really bad Wuhan. But we're going to keep it doing it. We're doing it for you, the viewers. All of our lovely fans. Going into third gear once again. Lots of third gear for these turns. Very similar turns, just with different camber, different lengths. Kind of easing on the throttle there before we get the stabilize up in the fourth for a brief moment before sliding the car aggressively. That is not part of the lap. Don't do that. Full throttle here for Paul Frere onto the back straight, and we've got lots of time here. Going to go to mess with the traction control a little bit for the next sharpest turns on the track. Get up nice and wide, full throttle. You gotta be quite accurate there to keep the car straight, and we're looking for that line on the ground, and as soon as we see it, we're gonna hit that, and we didn't see it in time. That was not great. This is what I get. Steven, actually, you know what? This is what you get for making me talk through a lap. And that's gonna be a 21.4 because of all the mistakes. 21.5. So that's a pretty bad lap of Spa-Francorchamps. Back to you, Steven.
Back to me. I will say entering Lacombe and Stavelot, I go down to second, whereas you keep it in third. I wonder if that may help with some of the rotation through there. Would be my suggestion.
Maybe I would try it.
Well, we will go off board with Reagan and take a look once again. Oh, Reagan, what happened?
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought I heard you groan.
Oh, it's just the fact that you're watching me again.
Oh, no, I said we were going off board, like we left you.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Leave me to my own devices.
We mentioned before there were 4 or 5 different battles going on track, less than a second between quite a few cars. Things seem to have stabilized, but we have a very close battle between P2 and P1. Nathaniel going for a move around the outside here. This could be our first change for the lead all race. Nathaniel trying to hold it out, and I think Alessandro gave him the position. Nothing doing there. But I don't see anything in Nathaniel's rear view camera. I think Landolfi right beside him. We might have to switch to some helicam action here. Yes, Nathaniel going wide. Ooh, very close driving between these two phenomenal racers. Very pacey, very respectful. This is action-packed. Nathaniel right on the rear bumper of that BMW. This is some great action you're getting to witness, and this is bringing Rosen Pashoff back to the fight. Only 1 second behind now. So the more these two are fighting, the closer Pashoff is getting, and we could have a Bez OG winning this race. Oh, and Nathaniel gets into the side of Landolfi.
No!
Pashoff up into P2. That is not what Nathaniel would have wanted. Pashoff now just 1.5 seconds back. Let's take a quick gander at that replay and see what conclusions we might be able to make. So this 1 minute replay takes us back to P1. You can see how close it was between Nathaniel and Landolfi. Nathaniel ultimately is going to have to give it up to Landolfi. Maybe just got off the throttle a little bit, sneaks in right behind. Man, it was close there. Let's switch to a chase camp. This is going to show us just how close it was between our two drivers. So Nathaniel really getting a run at Landolfi here. Hard on the brakes much later, able to get it deep in there. Oh no! Why did the replay cut off? Right before they were about to collide,
No.
It puts us back onto the race. I may have one more shot at getting this. I think it'll show us potentially. Aha! I have an alternate way of getting this replay going. Whew. I was going to say that would have been disappointing to miss out on this collision, but Nathaniel around the outside here, I think may have gotten onto the curb and put himself into the side. Alessandro definitely squeezed him to the inside there. That may be definitely something for the stewards to review. I wonder if they're going to argue that Alessandro did not leave a car's width on the inside there, because Nathaniel was very much alongside. We see contact between Luca Bertuolo, potentially Carestis, as Ligure Simon also showing a yellow flag. Or I think Simon is just exiting the pits there. And Pashoff, 0.3 behind Landolfi now. So this is very, very close. A great battle in our top 3 places. Landolfi, for the moment, holding on to the lead, but Pashoff showing some great pace here in that Porsche. I'm sure Jorge is screaming with excitement, the fact that he chose such a good teammate with the skill that Pashoff has.
They are both very good Porsche drivers.
They are, and our top 3 now separated by less than a second. Pashoff lost a little bit of time through the Bruxelles no-name complex. Allows Nathaniel to close up just a little bit. But yeah, this is some very exciting close racing. Christian, is this BRT hosted? Technically, it is a BRT event scheduled through our SimGrid. We were having some server issues to start, so our friends over at Toka Motorsport were so kind as to let us borrow one of their servers. So we are racing via Toka, but it is Bez organized. You'll see a good number of Bez drivers, including Rose and Pashoff. Commentator, typically Reagan Leckman, as Pashoff going for a move, isn't able to make it stick, but showing the nose of that Porsche as we see Legere Simon going deep into the final chicane there. Other typical Bez racers, Legere Simon down in P16. And I believe that was it. Definitely a lot of new faces. Yeah, Christian, a lot of new people here as Pashoff really showing the nose in that Porsche on the back in Landolfi, really wanting to get around that BMW for P1. Now our top 3 separated by less than half a second. I believe it was Bryce Prevost put this event, oh my god, almost 3 wide into Lacombe. Some more contact. Nathaniel having to take evasive action, cutting the left-hand corner there. Takes P1, but I think that will be a case of leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Not sure how our stewards will look. And now Landolfi getting into Jorge there, causing a little bit of contact. So a little bit of messy driving from our top 3. I think stewards are going to be looking at Nathaniel, maybe looking at Landolfi, pushing Pashoff a little wide. Could also be looking at Landolfi for squeezing Nathaniel a few laps ago. But Landolfi with that damage seeming to be struggling a little bit now and trying to do whatever they can to unsuccessfully hold on to that lead. Top 3 still very, very close together. There's a Mercedes on the inside and Campus impeding a little bit. Nothing much they could have done. They were just trying to stay off the line, but staying to the exit of one corner put them on the inside of another, and that bottled up Pashoff and Landolfi. Gives a 1.5 second gap now to Nathaniel in P1. I know Pashoff is going to be very upset with that. So quite a bit of action up front. Reagan, how's it been for you?
Quiet. Just how I like it. I feel like me and this field person are pretty close on pace, same as the cars behind that got either a little bit of pace or they're just not fast enough to catch me yet. So we'll have to see. I think barring mistakes or anything weird, we'll have to see what the field looks like after a pit stop.
Yeah.
Car's definitely feeling a bit spoilier. Tires definitely not at their best.
Ooh.
But not at their worst.
We're taking a look at a replay right now. Pashoff did get the position on Landolfi going to the final chicane, but there was definitely a bit of contact. If anything, I'm surprised Pashoff didn't entirely punt Alessandro there. That was seemingly a big hit, looking at the chase cam there. But Pashoff did get the move done, has about a second behind him to Landolfi, but could be another collision for review by our stewards. Oh, Landolfi definitely getting squirrely there into the gravel a little bit. Nathaniel now almost a 3-second gap, so I think Pashoff's opportunity to take the lead has come and gone. But again, I wonder if something will be coming for Nathaniel. And just taking a little bit of a rest for my voice. What happened to the McLaren that was in P2? I think you might be thinking of... Oh! What
There was
happened
like
to
Cheshire or
Cheshire?
something.
Yeah.
Cheshire.
What did happen to Cheshire? They're not
Oh
showing
yeah,
up in
what
the
happened to
standings at
Cheshire?
all.
Well, it might have been a driver swap.
Oh, duh.
Maybe would ACC TV tell you?
I don't think it does. You don't happen to know what... Oh. Cheshire was car number 343. That is currently... oh, that's Field. And P7. So let's switch over to... Ah, yes, confirmed in the comments. Swapped over to Field. I believe that is the McLaren you are thinking of. They spun earlier on, I think, coming out of Eau Rouge. Lost a good amount of time. We even got around them for about a lap or two, but they were making up a good amount of time.
Oh yeah, they were quite fast.
But I think they may have had a penalty which held them up in the pits. Either a penalty or some damage to repair. They are currently P7, 15 seconds ahead of my teammate, Reagan Leckerman.
Hello.
Is that the car that was P2 in quali? I am not sure.
They were very good in quali. I mean, you can always put on position deltas.
So smart, Reagan. What would I do without you?
You'd have to drive all 3 hours.
Benjamin Field down 4 places. That means they qualified P3. Oh, Ibrahim Nabil down 15. They would have started P2. They had a stop and go 10-second penalty for what car number are they? Nabil number 2. If I look at our stewarding report, car number 2, that was a collision with car number 14 on lap 29. They got a 10-second penalty for that. The stop-go, came from a collision with car 114 on lap 19. And car 114, that is... give me 1 second. 114... I don't know who 114 is. Maybe I'm losing my mind a little bit. but I don't see. Oh, Carestes.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Why Carestes fell back so far. So I think that was a collision potentially through El Rouge as well that Reagan had taken a look at. If anything, I might be able to look at that. Or maybe I don't. Because our highlights is full of yellow flags, that takes away some of the incidents we're able to go back and revisit. So, unfortunately, we can't see very quickly the collision between Nabil and Carestes, but yeah, that was a stop-go 10-second penalty. So, on top of a drive-through, they had to be stationary in the pits for 10 seconds. So definitely a costly collision. As Landolfi, oh my gosh, how did they end up in P10?
What? Did they pit?
They might have. They have been through the pits twice.
Now that's slightly too early, but I guess the spin timers aren't really working, so I don't know.
And they have also driver swapped to Simone Savini. So this is definitely an interesting strategy. Not sure how it's going to pay off for them, but they were stationary for 56 seconds, which makes me think that they had almost 30 seconds worth of damage to fix. And car 74, that is Nathaniel, was given a 5-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. So that would have been when Nathaniel took the lead. Currently, Rosen Pashoff 3 seconds behind. So with one pit stop remaining, when Nathaniel comes in, they will have to serve that 5-second penalty. That should, if Pashoff can get a good in and out lap and a good pit stop, should relinquish Pashoff into the lead provisionally.
Wow.
So we'll be keeping an eye on that. I say that car 222 Simone, who we're looking at right now, was stopped for 56 seconds to repair damage, but I still see quite a bit of damage on the rear of that car, and let's see what the hood looks like, because they previously... Yeah, that front end is still messed up, so I do not know why they were stopped for so long, but they are just losing quite a bit of time. And as Reagan mentioned, that stint timer, they technically have to pit once more. So I don't know what that strategy call is. It's not the call I would have made or anyone would have made, but we'll be keeping an eye on that, see how that plays out for them. Rosen Pashoff 2.7 behind our leader. We have Silviu Slama also into the pits. They were in P4.
Oh, they were very fast, yes. They're the Aston team, correct?
I believe so. Let's wait for ACC TV to open up. They are the Aston team, but again, 1 hour and 6 minutes. The stint timer is 65 minutes. So even though they'll do their driver swap, they technically will need to make one more pit, because even though the stint timer within ACC is not working, I believe our stewards will be enforcing that timer. So although they're still heading to their box, 1 hour and 5 and 40 seconds, by the time they get in, get up on the jacks, and make their 30-second pit stop to take tires, yeah, technically, because they still have not stopped yet. By the time they exit the pits, that timer will be below 1 hour and 5 minutes. They may be just timing this to perfection. But interesting to make a stop pretty early on, because I think they pit relatively on time before, so they're just going to have to do a long final stint. Those tires are going to be crying by the end of it. How are they feeling for you, Reagan?
They're definitely not feeling fresh, but they've been kind of sticking around the same level of grip for the last little while. I'm still able to do 20s or so, as long as I don't make any mistakes in the lap, and they don't feel like they're pushing me to make mistakes in the lap. So, yeah, feeling okay still.
Well, that is good. You are closing in ever so slightly on Ben Field. Have a huge gap behind to Bart DeCower EBT.
Well, P14 has some good pace. They're going to catch me soon. I might very well get passed by a team a lap down here.
Oh, and Simone was showing that they were losing quite a bit of time. Did they spin perchance? We're looking at a replay right now. They may have lost it through El Rouge. But yeah, Simone, lap 48, a 2:19.0. A fairly respectable time, but not up to par with what their teammate Alessandro was able to do. No, I don't know why it was showing Simone losing so much time. That is bizarre, if I do say so myself. But yeah, gaps for the most part seem to have stabilized. Our closest fight is, I believe, the 2.2 seconds between P1 and P2. Everyone else seems to be separated by a larger margin. So yeah, Pashov, I think, has been told that Nathaniel has that 5-second penalty and will be needing to stay stationary a little bit longer in their pit stop. So that, I think, is the motivating factor. Last lap, Pashov was about 2 tenths faster than Nathaniel, a 2:18.95 versus a 2:18.75. I'm not sure why the autopilot has moved us. I think it's because of the proximity between Reknoff and the GT3 AMG that they were behind. But we do not need to necessarily be covering the differences in lap time between P1 and P20. Reknoff showing now a little bit of a collision, so let's actually take a look at this replay here. And I realize I've left the replay graphic up. Oh, they got tapped in the rear. That's a little rude, and being flashed to boot, so that is a not nice AMG trying to get around there. Looking at the incident report, I'm not sure who it was that tapped them. Will ACC TV tell me? No, it will not. So we'll keep an eye on what happens with that and who tapped car 111. Oh, I guess since we know it was an AMG, instead of car number, let's take a look at manufacturer. Oh, and let me get out of the instant replay graphic finally. So that could have been Artis Miller's. Let's try and look at Artis. Yes, it was. So that was Miller's getting a little feisty on the rear end of Reknoff there, causing a little bit of damage that they may have to repair on their car. As we see Ben Field and Bart DeCower in the pits, relinquishing Reagan Leckerman up to P5. Alessandro Bezzi moving up into P6. And Pashov trying to get by a fellow Porsche that seems to have quite a bit of rear end damage. The gap between P1 and P2 now up to 3 seconds. And Reagan, when do you think you'll be making your pit stop?
Well, I've got 10 minutes before I need to make it. I could just make it now, so I don't have to worry about it later, but it wouldn't be bad to do an extra lap, get the rubber, get fresher rubber with lighter fuel. I have not done any fuel calculations. If you have, that would be nice.
You should need to start the stint with about 114 liters. And if anything, that was for a 65-minute stint, so depending on when you come in, you should be able to take out a little bit.
So 114 is the target, and then we're already down to an hour.
Yeah, so that's 2 laps,
Okay,
so that's
we'll
8
do, like,
that you
that's
could
8.
remove. If anything,
And I'll
I say
keep
chuck
going
in
for a little
100.
Okay.
And I believe that might be Nicholas GR into the pits ahead of you, or it could have been Nabil? Nathaniel and Pashoff are leaders still yet to make their stops. Same with Stefano Casella and Anton Komenok. That battle between the McLaren and Ford used to be much tighter. Casella's now opened a gap of about 6 seconds. So good racing by that McLaren. Ryan Cheshire has taken over the car once again from Ben Field.
Oh, hey, Steven.
Yes.
I guess I don't have the tire pressures set. Mine are the default, the game default. Do you remember what we used?
What
Or
are
am
the
I able to do
numbers?
the same as last stints?
What are the tire pressures that it's showing?
24.2, 24.3, 24.1, 24.2.
That
So also,
sounds about what I think I set them, because it's on strategy 1, right?
it is on strategy 1. Okay.
I
So
think
good.
that should be right. What a tire set has it selected for you?
6.
6?
They look fresh.
I would just change it to like 15 or something random.
Just to be nice and safe.
Yeah, because I know I used quite a few within the 1 through 10 range.
$13 looks nice and fresh.
Good. Pashoff now in the lead. We have Nathaniel and Anton Komenok into the pit lane. Of course, Nathaniel will have to serve that 5-second penalty that automatically gets added onto their pit stop time. And Reagan, you are now up into P3. I think we should go ahead and just stop the race here.
We can wait for the first two to pit.
And we have Nathaniel rolling out of their pit box. They're going to be back out on track soon. Kalmanok still stopped. Alessandro Betsy moves up into P4. So all eyes now on Rose and Pashoff to see when they will be coming in the pits. It must be soon because this stint window will be closing shortly.
Well, we had 2 minutes, like you did a minute 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have about an hour on the dot right now. So enough time for another lap. So if they pushed an extra lap, or if they push the same number of laps as you, they should be able to do another one or two. Theoretically.
And Reagan, when do you think you'll be pitting?
I think I'm going to pit this lap.
Okay. I'm going to give you an updated fuel number to aim for.
Okay, because I've got it set right now to fill me to 100 liters, like including the amount that's still in the car,
Gotcha.
which is about 11 liters.
Okay, so go down to 96 total.
Okay.
And we have Reagan in the pits. Legre Simon in the pits as well. It's a quiet pit lane at the moment. We are helicamming Rosen Pashoff at the moment. Still waiting to see when Pashoff will be coming in. It must be this lap or next. If they stay out longer than that, they will exceed the stint time, because the maximum you could do 2 65-minute stints will give you 50 minutes remaining. So that is going to be on Pashoff's mind. We see Nathaniel getting around Nathaniel Betsy and Reagan Leckerman.
Dang.
Pashoff coming through Blanchimont at the moment. Nathaniel just entering Eau Rouge. And the distance of that amount of track gives you some sort of idea for how long it takes to get through the pit lane and make a pit stop. And Pashoff is in, so we are going to be watching Pashoff's pit stop, because we want to see where they are going to come out on track relative to Nathaniel Fever PHX.
Oh, my brake leg mildly wants to cramp. Tired. I have to pee. Ready to go.
Ready to go. 52 and a half minutes left.
52 and a half minutes plus overtime. Whatever that might be.
Pashoff slowly making his way through the pit lane. Nathaniel just getting through Puhan at the moment. Nathaniel through campus. If you're looking at the track map, Nathaniel is car number 3. And Reagan back out on track, just 15 seconds behind Ryan Cheshire.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cheshire is a very fast driver.
Well,
oh no, 15's about what it was. Yeah.
It's about what it was. Alessandro Betsy. Oh, leaving the pit lane. I was like, yellow flag.
Well, you know what, Steven? You know what, viewers? I'm very happy to be coming out in P8. That is a great position to be in for the rest of this race. It's much better than I expected.
Pashoff off the jacks, exiting the pit lane, a short run. Nathaniel going through T1 right now, but is going to be carrying a lot more speed through Eau Rouge, and that gap is going to close very quickly. Pashoff out of the pit lane. Nathaniel just cresting the hill at the moment, but for the moment, Pashoff has the lead. You can hear Nathaniel and the roar of that Ferrari, but it is a roughly 3, maybe 2.5 second gap. Pashoff is gonna need to get his tires up to temperature. You can see Nathaniel at the bottom of your screen there just for a brief moment. So that's the gap. That is what a 5-second penalty will do to you. Excellent concentration by Pashoff to nail the in, out, or in lap at least, and the pit stop. He needs to nail the out lap to not allow Nathaniel to get any closer, as we have Silviu Slama less than half a second away from Stefano Casella, so a battle raging for P3, and I think soon we'll have a battle raging for P1. Of course, Pashoff needs to get the tires up to temperature, but at least we'll have fresher tires by a couple of laps, so that may help towards the end of this stint. 50 minutes left on the clock, just about. Corey Miles exiting the pit lane down in P22, that's the yellow flag, and Nikita down in P23 exiting the pit lane as well. Ricardo Cinti in the Lexus in the pits. Yeah, things are settling down a little bit. Ryan Cheshire doing Ryan Cheshire things, extending the gap from him to Reagan to over 13 seconds now. Or 18 seconds, sorry,
15.
not 13.
Wow. Jesus, that quick. Wow. Very fast rider.
Very fast indeed. Let's have me take a look at the penalty sheet, see if there's anything coming. And for car 297, there was a 5-second penalty. That was Dexter Cray. That was the black AMG that got into the back of Reknov. Reknov was the back marker. The 297 AMG, just a little too impatient, caused a collision and given a 5-second penalty for that. And we have an incident involving car 311. Give me 1 second and I'll figure out who that is. Car 311 is Corey Miles. What happened between Corey Miles? We'll find out soon enough.
Well, there was just, to give you some insider info, there was just a message last warning for blue flags for that car number.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we are looking at this is a replay involving Corey. Oh, they were being overtaken by a Ferrari and got into the side of them. So I think the steward's not too happy with the driving of the 311 car, Corey Miles in that black Porsche, not giving enough space to the cars that are overtaking them. And very quickly, Nathaniel has gotten the gap down to Pashoff to less than half a second. So this is definitely the battle we'll be keeping an eye on for the foreseeable future. The gap between Casella and Slama still holding steady around 0.4. And Ryan Cheshire has gotten themselves up behind the P6 Ford as Pashoff makes a mistake in the final chicane, easily allows Nathaniel up. And Sergey in P6 also, I believe, made a mistake allowing Ryan Cheshire. We'll take a look at both of those if we are able to. We might only be able to see the one from Pashoff. So you can see Pashoff in the white Porsche just goes deep onto the curb, unsettles the car easily, and allows Nathaniel through. And we will then have to see what happened with Casella. Or sorry, Ryan Cheshire. Because that is Karnakov behind. Let's try. Okay, so this is what we had going on. And Ryan Cheshire just more confident on the brakes. Easily gets by. Not a hard-fought contest there. So the driver of the Ford, I think, might be the slower of the two teammates there. And Reagan, that Ford is now just 16 seconds ahead of you. This could be P7 still on the table.
Well, unfortunately, the driver behind the Papsto is lapping just a little bit faster than me. So, I mean, yes, I might be fighting with the car in front, but I definitely might be fighting with the car behind. So, end of this race might be very interesting.
So a very exciting end to this 3-hour race. Action going on throughout. Of course, some big gaps between some positions, but P2 and P1 separated by less than 2. P3 and 4 separated by a second. P4 and 5 separated by less than 2 as well. So definitely quite a few fights in our top 5 positions. It's a very, very competitive field. We'll have quite a lot to keep an eye on with less than 45 minutes left.
I would love to be able to keep an eye on it with you, but I'm having a hard enough time keeping my eye on the track.
Yeah, it's almost like you're participating in the race or something.
Almost. Well, I will say I'm very pleased with the 219.8.
19.8 is very good. Carestes, I saw a brief yellow flag and they lost a spot. Let's maybe take a 30-second look. Oh, Carestes made another pit stop. And was just leaving the pit lane. So that's how they got overtaken. A good number of drive-throughs up and down the field. I think some are going to be for collisions, some for track limits. Some with one drive-through, some with two. We of course had a couple with some stop-go 10-second penalties. But up from P1 through P17, all 17 of those drivers, no drive-throughs, keeping it clean so far. Reagan, how are our track limits looking?
We've got two in the bag, so it's been pretty clean since my last one.
Very nice. I'm happy with that. Corey
bad.
Miles and Ivo Dante showing a collision. Corey was the driver on the final warning for blue flag incidents. So let's take a 30-second look at Corey Miles in the Porsche. Going through Eau Rouge. Gets in the grass a little bit. I'm not sure where this contact is going to come from unless that McLaren absolutely sends it. And it did. Oh, but that was not Corey Miles. What the heck? That was a different Porsche. Why was it saying we were on board with Corey when that was not Corey? I do not understand, Reagan.
I don't really understand myself either, but trying my best.
Here we go. So this is the incident. And yeah, Corey, ooh, that's a big hit on that McLaren. That was the number 2 car of Ivo Dante. So that will be investigated by the stewards. And if Corey was already on a final warning, I don't think the stewards are going to be taking too kindly to an incident like that, where you are being lapped and you just get completely into the side of the car overtaking you.
That is never a great thing to hear.
It's usually what they call not good in the world of motorsports.
That is, I think, the official term, actually. They call it a not good move.
You know who I miss seeing on track, Reagan?
Who's that?
Mr. EBT.
Where is EBT?
I don't know. They swapped over, and I no longer know where they are, but I can find out if I look at the Discord. Or maybe I
guess,
can't.
well, all I'll say is that I guess Mr. EBT was feeling a little EP tonight.
A little EP?
Yeah, EP.
Oh,
yeah,
EP,
feeling a little
like
EP.
sleepy.
Yeah.
The Gen Z term.
The Gen Z
I get
term.
it.
Aren't I older than you? I think I'm like a year older than you.
No, because you were born 97?
97, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Am I a
96.
year younger than you?
Yeah,
oh, I'm a year younger than
Yep.
you. Okay. There you go. Yeah, it's the Gen Z stuff you just don't understand.
Yeah, these young whippersnappers. I just can't keep up.
Something, skibbity, whatever.
Skibbity Riz, something with Ohio.
Skibbity Riz.
Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk. I know some of these.
Yeah, I watch TikTok sometimes.
Oh, I go deep. I'm fine. Sorry, I realized we're streaming. I shouldn't make it sound like I just watched the race.
Well, you are.
But my rear tires are at 27.8.
What?
Yeah, I think we might have gotten that wrong.
I swear what's the temperature?
Well, the rear brakes. Hey, what brakes did we choose?
Set 1, I think.
Isn't that the one that only lasts for a sprint race?
I think it's good for like races up to like 6 or 12 hours. It should have been fine.
Oh yeah. Okay, because our rear brakes are toasty.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are red. This. Oh yeah, I think maybe, just maybe, we might have a problem on our hands.
Because if anything, the track I think has gotten colder. But it's not like we would have. I mean, we didn't change brakes because that takes like 3 minutes. I really don't know what to tell you. I don't know what would be happening there.
Interesting. Well, car's still driving okay. Oh, I say as I understood through.
We saw that.
I'm sure you did.
Let's go back to our broadcast view. But you are very quickly catching up to P7.
Oh, we'll see how the tires last. Because the rear tires are toasty.
Did you take them to Subway or something?
Yes, Subway.
Because they toast
I'm
their sandwiches.
sub-loving it.
Yeah, so 7 ahead to Sergey, 7 behind to Eric. This could be a good fight at the end.
This will be very interesting if our tires don't just like explode.
Good old Corey Miles was showing a yellow flag. Was something happening there potentially? On a replay, there is a fast approaching McLaren. No, just really slows down to let them by. Oh no, that's a Ferrari. Those are our leaders. Because that's Pashoff getting by. I think Corey finally got the hint of leaving as much space as possible.
Woof! Oh boy, I almost lost it.
Oh, you're still closing in on P7. The gaps up front still keeping around 1.5 seconds between P1 and P2 and P3 and P4. I wonder if our drivers are saving a little bit for the end of the race. Fastest lap according to ACC TV, a 2:17.9. I think Reagan called that out at the beginning.
Still a ridiculous time.
Ridiculous indeed. Some might even call it redonkulous.
Is that one of those millennial phrases I'm not aware of?
I think that's an old person phrase. That's I think that goes back a couple decades at least.
That's what all millennials say. Things could get ugly real quick here, Steven. Things are not driving great.
Speaking of not driving great, 311 Corey given 30 seconds worth of penalties for blue flag infringements. And car 222.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh.
Oh man, we almost got schmucked.
I think we have to take a replay. Let's look.
I think they were trying to defend against the car behind who they're actually battling with. And almost took me out in the process.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah, they were very far ahead of you. And then all of a sudden lost it somehow. Very, very interesting. We have Hayden Sweet into the pits. I don't think that is a scheduled stop. And Reagan, you are now just 3 seconds behind P7.
Increasing my brake bias to help with the overheating a little bit. Hopefully that makes things a little less squirrely on the tires.
Well, Silviu Lama still 1.5 seconds behind Stefano Casella. That gap has been extremely stable throughout this stint. Pashoff has lost a little bit of time to Nathaniel in P1. Nathaniel, of course, has served that 5-second penalty for cutting the course when they took P1, so no time should be added for either of these drivers. It's just a straight fight to the end. Reagan is slowly but surely catching up to P7. We might end up finishing where we started, but not if Eric Papp still has anything to say about it. They are now 4.5 seconds behind Reagan. And then it's 88 seconds back to Dexter Cray in P10. So again, quite a few battles to be following in the top 10, but most other things have settled in P10 through the end of the field. Ooh, Reagan with a tiny off there.
Car is not driving well. There's no way I'm going to keep Pepsil behind. Oof.
Looking rearward, Silvio getting around a back marker Lexus there. I believe that might be Rebotini? Either Rebotini or Cinti are two Lexus drivers today. Silvio hunting down Stefano Casella, that gap down to 1 second. Trying to make something happen here in our final 28.5 minutes. Oh, that was Stefano Casella spinning. That promotes Silvio up into P3. Casella has now lost another place to Simone Savini, car 222, and even a spot to Ryan Cheshire. So Stefano down in P6 now. Oh, they're not moving. They are pulled over. Reagan, I think you might get a spot.
Ooh, well, I've got a nice little sandwich of places right here.
Yeah, they have been just parked for a long time. I'm looking at a replay. It wasn't even far enough to see what happened to them.
Oh, you can go watch a replay of me. Because we have gotten past, Papstel and I have both gotten past our old friend.
Oh. Let's helicam this. We're still on a replay, so this is Reagan right on the back of that Ford. And very nice through Stavelot. Oh, and then Sergey gets a little nudge. I think that's a different Mercedes than who did a nudge before. But Sergey now down in P8. Last lap was a 2-minute 30, so definitely lost quite a bit of time there. And Reagan, passed by Popstill, puts them down to P7. But it's where we started, so I think we will absolutely...
No! It's not going to be P7. Oh. Oh. Well, that's going to do it. I don't know if it's even worth it trying to get back to the pits. Oh yeah, nope, it is too dangerous. Well... Steven?
Yeah, that is a bummer watching it on the replay.
Yeah, those rear tires were not good.
Yeah, I am very confused why the pressures were so messed up.
Well, you know what? It's because they don't save it. I don't think it's saved directly in like the. I think it's saved locally in the setup rather than saved separately. And I should have questioned that more because it sounded wrong what we were doing.
No, it should have been saved as part of the setup in the pit strategy.
I don't know. That's.
Because are you in the garage right now?
I sure am.
I mean, try and go to the setup and see what it was.
These are the setups. Yeah, these are the pressures 2, 3, 1, 2. So I wonder if we're on the front brakes 1, rear brakes 1. I really don't know why they got so incredibly messed up. That is sad. I am
sad indeed.
sad.
Well, Stefano's saying that their brakes were out, so maybe it was a brake issue for us.
Well, I mean, they were like red hot through most of that. And then the tires, I mean, again, the tires in the back were almost at 28.
Yeah, I think that is on me. I thought they lasted a lot longer. Reading on Coach Dave Academy, it says anything that falls under 3 hours of racing is suitable, although they last between 90 to 120 minutes in realistic conditions, so hour and a half to 2 hours. So I definitely messed up on you. I apologize.
That is okay.
I
would not thought about it at all.
I will chalk that up to not having driven ACC in almost a year for both of us.
I like that. I think we can call it here. I'm happy with the pace. I mean, not call it stream. We got lots of exciting stuff left.
Yeah. Because I could have sworn in prior versions that they used to last a lot longer.
I don't know.
But it was fun while it lasted. I think without that, we easily could have finished P7 or even P6, because I think if you weren't struggling with the brakes and the tire pressures, I think you easily could have kept Papstel behind.
Easy's a stretch, but I probably would have actually had a fight there and not hopefully had the back end swing out on me. But we've still got lots of exciting racing left to watch. So you know what, Steven? I am going to be leaving VR, jumping back into the regular, and I'll be back to you soon.
Wait, you're doing what?
I'm going to jump off of VR and into the screen.
Oh, that
so
makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Out of the wonderful world, virtual reality. Steven, what's going on track? Keep me updated. Keep the viewers updated.
Keep the viewers updated. Sorry, I was trying to look at some stuff in Twitch settings. We have a Porsche going very, very wide there. A couple of folks in the pits, not including us. We no longer show up on the timing towers. Ryan Cheshire into the pit lane.
Whoa.
Didn't they pit early the last time around?
I thought they did. I no longer have access to all of the data from ACC TV.
Or somebody says he must have a penalty. That's also a...
He has a drive-through.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he has a drive-through. Wow.
Let's
That is
switch from
incredibly...
manufacturer to car number. Why can't I see car number? Oh, it's at the top. So Ryan is car number 343. Let's look at the stewarding document. I don't see anything for collision, so that must have been a track limit thing. We have car 992, a 20-second penalty for a collision during yellow flag. They stayed full throttle. And car 111, who is...
That is Reknov.
Reknov, a stop and go of 30 seconds.
Well, I believe they just served it, but now it says they have a 15-second penalty.
Interesting. I wonder if they... Oh, what was I going to say? Maybe they sped in the pit lane?
Possibly. Very possibly.
So things unraveling for quite a few folks as we approach the end of this race. Ryan Cheshire serving that stop-go, still comes back out in P6. Promotes Eric Papstill to P5. I think that's a very surprise result for that team, considering they were just in P8 or 9 a few laps ago. They have benefited from quite a few people's misfortunes. Pashoff has now fallen 7 seconds behind Nathaniel here, so I don't think we're going to have a battle to the line for the win. But we have a battle between P16 and P17. Bez Racing Team's own Legere Simon, less than a second ahead of Carestis, who was very quick early in this race, had a few incidents slowing them down. And then 1 second between P10 and P11. So do not go anywhere to our 20 viewers.
This is a great number, also. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Yeah, we don't usually get this number of people, so it's always excellent to see. We really appreciate you all being here, whether you're cheering on your teammate who's in the car or just feel like watching some racing today. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, indeed. We have our 21 viewers. I think that's a new record.
We had 21 before. I believe we even had 22.
I think you're lying. I don't think we.
Well, you were driving.
I think no. This has to be a new record. Oh
no! It's from this stream.
Nathaniel has something. Oh no, Nathaniel.
Oh no,
What's
Nathaniel!
Happening?
Oh my goodness! This.
Oh my gosh!
They're going in. They're going into the pits. Wow.
We are on a replay right now. Did they lose it? Are they fixing damage? Oh, they looped it. Oh no!
Oh no!
Blanchimont, oh my gosh.
Oh, that was a big shunt too. They got back on track surprisingly well.
But that
is huge.
Oh my gosh.
And that puts Rosen Pashov, the Bez Racing Team regulars, into P1 after all of that and still 15 minutes left.
That is crazy. We have Silvius Lama coming through, approaching T1 right now. They are going to get P2 all the way. I mean, that's going to be a very long pit stop to fix that amount of damage. So even down maybe to Ryan Cheshire could pass Nathaniel. This definitely has major implications for this race.
I'd also like to say we have 23 viewers now, so it doesn't actually matter. We've got a new record. Thank you, everyone.
New record.
A new record. Lots of records being broken in the viewer department.
So we have, as we mentioned before, Ricardo Cinti chasing down Mo Siraj for P10, trying to get that last points-paying position, and is making a move onto the helicam around the outside of Blanchimont. This is bold racing, very respectful.
They seem to have the pace, and wow!
But had to go wide.
Did have to go wide, but you know what? The other driver went wide as well. That makes it tricky.
Oh, but loses their end. I think maybe no. I thought they were giving it back to Siraj. Nothing doing there. So Cinti does get up. Oh, Siraj! What a dive bomb!
Wow!
And
I really wants to get that spot back, but
I think Siraj lost it.
Very well could have.
I think they might have lost the rear end a little bit. Let's take a quick replay on the helicam so we can see what happened on the pit straight here. So, yeah, Cinti is ahead in the Lexus here. Siraj is going to absolutely send it, but dives in deep and relinquishes it back to Cinti. And now about half a second behind. What is up?
Well, just we've now got Cinti just made a mistake, so that fight's right back on. But then immediately after, we got another mistake. So now we've got Siraj has lost a spot to a driver a lap behind. So that is a very complicated situation we have brewing here.
And we still have Nathaniel in the pits. They have been in for 3 minutes now.
That's the kind of shunt that takes 3 minutes to fix.
Well, I'm almost wondering, we've had some drivers, including ourselves, crash and call it quits. Is Nathaniel just dipping out of this race?
That I don't know. It's hard to say, because like with our crash, we really shunted it on Eau Rouge and then got hit again by another driver.
Got hit, and we would have been still with terrible brakes for you. Like, it just... There wasn't any coming back, but...
There was not any coming back. But here, I wonder if Nathaniel just felt the win slip from his hands. It's hard to want to get back on track after that.
Yeah.
But it could also be just 3 minutes of damage. It's really hard to see. We will have to see if he's back on track at some point today.
Very well could be. P9 is about to round T1 and take P8 from Nathaniel. We see... I don't even know what to call it, an incident now, but it's a parking lot at the bus stop. What was going on there? Just everyone going slow. So we're going to see, I think, Yvonne Reknoff slow way down. Oh, there was a car off the track as well.
Well, there was some sweet down in 22nd.
Sweet down in 22nd. Yeah.
We've got another driver off. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? We've just got driver after driver trying to say hi, making a cultural exchange with their cars.
And Nathaniel now down P11, lost spots to Ricardo Cinti, Mo Siraj. Yeah, I really don't know what happened to cause that bottleneck in the bus stop, but quite a lot of contact there. And Stefano Casella is one who is continuing to lose places. They spun quite a while ago and called it out. I think they did the same thing we did, putting on the wrong brake pads and just losing brake life very, very quickly.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see more and more drivers just really struggling. Because we already had one team in our chat, you mentioned, talk about losing the brakes. We lost our brakes. That's unfortunate. That's going to stick with me for probably like an hour or two. Not that
You'll
long.
be over it pretty quick. It sounds like.
I'll be over it, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
You know.
So we have Simone Savini less than 2 seconds behind Slama, so we could have a fight for P2. Ivo Dante showing a collision flag.
We have officially gotten a disqualification for Ivan Rekhnov, car 111. They have been teleported back to pits. Also, you're on the instant replay tab.
Yeah, because we're looking at Ivo Dante.
Oh, is this a replay?
Yes.
Or,
it was showing that they had a collision. I didn't see it, but interesting for Ivo. And so Ivan Rekhnov, car 111. Let's see the last instant they had. Oh, they just got... I think they were slowing down for a car passing, but that was not what they should have done, I do not think. So I think just too many violations of blue flag infringements led to that disqualification for Rekhnov. And yeah, Nathaniel, I do not think at this rate is coming back out. They are still in the pits. Savini 1 second behind P2, 8 minutes left, about 4 laps, I would call it. So we definitely have a battle on our hands up there. But apart from that, Rosen Pashoff over half a minute to P2 behind. So I think Pashoff, we can maybe start wishing some...
okay, the way this... Why would you ever say that? The way that we've lost... How many drivers have we lost from the lead of this race? 2?
Maybe I want to cause some chaos rigging.
Oh, wow. Pashoff. Hold out. I believe in you. Don't let Steven curse you.
Yeah. But looking at some deltas, let's take a look. So Pashoff up 3, Slama up 6, Pap still up 7, Simone, started P1 down 2. Cheshire lost a couple spots. Sergey, the only driver to be currently where they started. Nathaniel still showing up 8 places because they did not qualify, but losing quite a few. That would have been an epic nearly last to first challenge. So a lot of green, a lot of red as well. I think our biggest losers, Ivo Dante down in P12 and Stefano Casella down in P22. Yeah, the battle between this BMW and Aston, very, very close.
Very close, yes.
And Simone, for good measure, doing a little bit of flashing.
And they've got some pace here. They definitely have the top speed going down into bus stop. Ooh, but they get caught on the curbing there on Blanchemont, and that slows them down enough that they can't really go for any sort of move here into bus stop.
And we'll have to keep an eye on these last few laps, see if any final drive-through penalties are going to come our way for track limits violations.
I do have some unfortunate news. Savini has a 5-second penalty.
Ooh.
So they not only need to get past Slama, but then need to put some distance between them. And so Slama, even if they don't think they can hold off for the rest of the race, has a very, very big incentive to hold them off as long as possible. And it looks like maybe the move may be getting done right here, as we've got Slama and Savini side by side. Steven, if you want to switch over.
Yeah, I need to turn off autopilot. It keeps, well,
they had a bit of they just had a tap. Is your computer doing okay?
Yeah, it just doesn't like me sometimes. Let's take a gander at a good old replay.
Well, this is the perfect spot to watch from, because we have these two drivers going side by side. You can see there Slama wants to take the outside, or Savini wants to take the inside, then takes the outside. Two of them moving, and a little bit of a tap, which forces their Savini off the track, but then they decide to go back on the track in second place, and I don't believe have given the spot back.
Nope, Slama's still 1.5 seconds behind, so Savini already had a 5-second. I would not be surprised if they have another 5-second penalty coming their way.
It's one thing to give the spot back. I mean, that was a harmless little tap, but if they want to hold it,
yeah. No, the main
no
issue
bueno.
was cutting the track, because we saw
Yeah.
Nathaniel do that earlier to avoid an incident, cut the track, took P1, and was given a 5-second penalty. So I think that would be the main rationale there.
Certainly. We have Simon, unfortunately, with a drive-through penalty down in P16.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about Simone Savini, the P2 car.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Laguerre Simon.
I was
Laguerre
like,
Simon.
what? You said that very nonchalantly. Just, oh yeah, the car in second place has a drive-through. What else is new?
Classic car in P2.
Yep.
Well, 222, oh my goodness, they just got a drive-through for stint timer.
Oh, that's what we were saying before, because they boxed with like an hour
They
and 7
boxed
hour
early.
and 8. Yeah, so that is not surprising. We thought a penalty was going to be coming their way. And there it
I
is.
believe it was applied automatically. I don't think it was applied by the stewards. There really wasn't anything to be done there. We'd kind of forgotten about that. But yeah, that was kind of one of the key issues of the race we were waiting to see resolved.
Yeah, so that is that's P2 right now, correct?
That is P2. That is Savini, yes. Simon Savini, who does have a drive-through actually now. Both Simons have drive-through penalties.
So Savini has a drive-through, already had a 5-second, and may have another 5-second penalty for cutting the course and gaining an advantage. And I do see on the stewarding sheet a 5-second penalty for car 222. So that is quite the slew of penalties coming their way at the end of this race. That may even put them down in P5, maybe even P6.
Well, drive-throughs here are incredibly long.
Oh, super
I think it's like 80-second equivalent is what you get if you don't do it before you finish the race. I also mentioned P13. Evans just got a drive-through for track limits. P85 or car 85 also. Oh, never mind. Same car.
Yeah.
Car 85 just popped it up twice.
With
But
two laps to go, that is a bummer to see.
That is really a bummer. Yeah. Well, Simon's coming out in P16 after just getting rid of their penalty, though that might turn into 17 here.
Well, Strabel, it says, is 5 laps behind them.
Oh, Strabel was 5 laps behind him. You're right. Oh, it has been a long day. Some very fun driving. Some ups. One particular big down.
Well, technically it was up, because it was at the top of a hill.
Yeah, but they had to tow us down.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you win that quip.
Thank you. I got to talk about how poorly our race ended. Better than you did.
As a joke. Man, after all that work to put in like a 17-7 in quali, some idiot teammate puts it in the
idiot
wall.
Doesn't set the brakes correctly.
I mean, you could have warned me. You saw that.
I was way too hungover for that. That can't be on me. That's an easy excuse.
I think we need to add that blunder to the list along with Spain 2022.
Oh, that's BS. That is. I think we should be adding this purely on your feet for choosing the wrong brakes and ruining our race. Steven, you ruined our race. I don't ever want to talk to you again.
Yeah, same here. Well, it's
Yep.
been a good race. 20 seconds left. We are gonna head out because Reagan and I are.
Well, okay, whoa. They might believe us. There's only so much time left. They might actually think we're leaving. No, we've got just
who are
a
you
little
talking
bit of
to?
time left. The viewers, not you.
Okay. I was gonna say you
yeah,
better
don't
not
worry.
be talking to me. I hate you.
Well, we've got Pasha here coming around for the final time. As long as everything goes well, they can take it nice and easy and get themselves a beautiful victory in a chaotic race. The proper favorites of the race twice got knocked out. First, Reagan, of course, the expected favorite. And then after that, the Phoenix. What is their... Are they still in the server even?
No, I think they quit.
No. What was their name again?
Nathaniel?
It was
Nathaniel
something.
Savini.
Oh my goodness!
Did they think the race is over?
They might have, but also, Slama just got a drive-through.
What?
What is happening? Oh, Savini, it's not done! No!
Keep driving.
Oh, my friend, please, Savini, if anyone in chat is driving with Savini, please tell them to start driving. Oh, this is painful.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh. Savini has AirPods on. They can't hear the truck coming.
Oh, Savini, what are you doing? What are you doing,
Still
bud?
there. They've probably already gotten up from their rig thinking, oh, well, the drive-thru's unfortunate, but that was a nice race. Good little fight there.
They're probably so confused why Silvio kept driving. Oh my gosh, yeah. Eric Papstill and Ryan Cheshire, P4 and 5, they're about to get around. We already thought those two were going to get around because of Savini's penalties, but now it's absolutely confirmed. We're just watching Savini. We're going to switch over to Rosen Pashoff leading the race, coming through Blanchimont right now, but we're going to have to keep watching Savini and see if they ever get moving again.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on Savini on my cam. You go swap over and watch the action here. As Rosen Pashov coming down into bus stop. One more turn before glory. And Pashov is the winner of the first endurance race of the 2024 Beds Racing Team endurance season. Congratulations.
Jorge Rosen, great race. Phenomenal pace. I think Jorge was in our voice chat earlier saying, oh, Rosen's been on holiday, hasn't done any practice, and then the two of them go and win the race. That is some crazy sandbagging, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely crazy. Well, Savini has decided not to drive more. I mean, maybe they ran out of fuel. It could be that they ran out of fuel. But regardless, so that does mean we have Salama in P2 and Ryan Cheshire, after a bit of a chaotic race for them, in P3.
Yeah, they ended up where they started. So that's good.
Them and Fields, fantastic race for those two.
Eric Papstill up 7 spots, finishing P4.
Wonderful race for them.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, Reagan, but if we did not have our issues, I think that could have been us.
Well, Papstill, it would have been tough. Papstill had very good pace this whole race. If I didn't have the brakes out, I'd probably be doing... I got into the 19s briefly in that second stint before the tires started going. So I think he was doing like low 19s. I was doing like mid to high 19s. So still would have been a fight. But yeah, P4, P5 might have been on the table with all the chaos. So best not to think about it.
Exactly. I think we have to... No, there goes... Oh, Savini left. So we don't even get to see where they finish with all of their penalties.
Oh, no. Well, that's a lap plus... they probably would still be finishing... I think Cinti is 2 laps down. So with 1 lap plus a drive-through, that's about a lap and a half. So they'll probably be finishing like P8, is my guess. Which is quite unfortunate. Certainly not what people are looking for. So obviously our stewards will get everything sorted out in terms of any last-second penalties, if anything deserves a penalty, and get the placements in place. But for the time being, wow, what a race.
Indeed. Did you hear that little audio clip there?
I did not.
Stefano followed us. Thank you, Stefano, for the follow. I made our notification sound you going, oh, baby.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. So that was,
that's
I think this was the first time
baby,
we got
that's
to
a
hear
good
that
one.
on stream. And we
I
got
think I heard it
another
once.
from,
Oh, baby.
from Allison. Thank you,
Thank
Allison,
you.
for the
Thank
follow.
you kindly.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the viewership. Now we just need to get a. What am I thinking of?
Like a
PayPal
Twitch
or
ad,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, something where we can get donations. Because we, I think after this, frankly, deserve it.
I think so. I am so tired.
Yeah, you deserve a good little bit of rest. I am
My
trying.
head hurts. I'm so sweaty.
Oh,
boy.
what I need to do? I need to go blank. So yeah, Savini, it says, still is P5. Oh my gosh, Slama with the drive-through down to P4.
Wow.
Cheshire up in P2.
Cheshire up in P2.
Pat's still up in P3.
Slama, and then it does say Savini in P5.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is some crazy finishes there. Man, that is a wild finish.
Oh, what a finish. And okay, so we've got Nathaniel in P17. That's where they finished.
And there, the session is restarted, and we are all done. Thank you again to Toga Motorsport for letting us borrow your server. We are highly appreciative of it as a community.
Yes.
And yeah, that is all that we have for you today. We are going to see you hopefully later this year for the start of Season 6 of the Solo League. Keep an eye on announcements for our next endurance race. Not sure when that'll be, but I think after today we can definitely call it a success and say that we are going to be doing quite a bit more of these races.
This was fantastic. Great to see the turnout. Always nice to see new people. We had some great drivers come out with us. Hopefully we'll see some names in the Solo League coming up shortly. But yes, thank you all, especially for the viewers, for sticking around. Hope you had a good time. I certainly did. Apart from one particular moment, I would say there were about 5 laps where it really was not fun to drive that car. And one lap where I couldn't drive it. So, only takes one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we will see you all around for the start of the Solo League announcements to come on the timing of that. And hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it may be for you. Hope you take care.
Bye, everybody.